What's the point of cricket?
Boys.
Why do you do it?
Great cricket is a prison.
We're going to look at the perils of sweeping.
We're the good cricketers, the great cricketers, real Brad.
Dipsy's head. If you're going to do it to England. Well, he's out now. He got 40.
Has life ever felt emptier than it does right now? Sun shining, no sense of days, weight piling on and New Year's plans being formed. And here we are without the soundtrack of the silly season going on in the background. There is no gentle hum of the Melbourne crowd, no rustling through effects microphones of bowlers bussing through creases and fading calls of no runs slipping through the ears. There is no accompanying commentary of cricket on the radio on the way to the beach, wicket notifications on smartphones on Boxing Day, dreams being achieved in 4K. We are bereft of cricket in this, the most meaningful time of meaninglessness. We are now pitch experts, weather experts, and defence experts. Why is this happening to us? Are we being punished by a benevolent God that's really just a big T20 fan? Is our Sky Daddy as mean as our real daddy? Is this series petering out to being voided because no one can play a fucking forward defence? Or are we to blame the Jim's mowing franchise for not taking a little more off the top? Barney Ronay's on the show to bask in the glory of England's win. There's BBL, Bavuma's piece, AskTGC, what's getting you hot? And we'll try to make sense of it all. Aussie tears, Pezza, Aussie tears. Why is this happening to me? I'm sad.
Completely agreed. That's beautifully written and said and delivered. I feel for everybody. It should be day 4. We should be into day 4 of this test match as we record right now, and instead people are listening to fucking shit podcasts, right? Shit like this. Right? Where we are trying to fill the void. On the plus side, I do think the nature of the test match, the way that we're explaining what happened, has allowed a lot of Aussies, particularly grade cricket people, to just say that everything is shit, which is what we are good at. The deck's shit. The fucking Poms are shit. The Australian team is shit. No one can play a forward defence. The batting shit. Like, that is... Let's not rule that out. Let's not rule out the value of being able to sit back, upset, grumpy at our own lives, and say, fuck, that was shit. Like, that. There's something in that.
I tell you who's good. Me.
So, I'm just trying to bring a little bit of perspective and balance to this.
Christmas pudding.
Yeah, I'm not saying there's been any 4D chess here and that we're being given what we really want, but there has been a lot of existentialism about this game. You know, is this TikTok generation? Is this late stage capitalism? Can guys not bat because we're just over consuming and we have no time for anything anymore? Well, one facet of modern life is to say that everything's shit online. To be an algorithm is designed.
It's designed that way.
To provoke feelings of things being shit. Something shit, your wife is shit.
Your mum's shit.
Your mum's shit, like the nickname.
Jamie Redknapp.
Billy the cunt. So I feel like that the last few days has given us that. Like, we'll go over the MCG test and we'll agree that everything that everyone did was shit. Josh Tongue's shit. Pfeiffer. So anyway, podcasts are shit.
They're terrible. They're awful.
But you know what? I think there's something nice in this. It is a mutual agreement from everybody around the globe that we like watching cricket. You know, like that. I feel like that is the overriding thing. Now that's going to slip into a sense that maybe Australians are writing this victory off for England. No flowers will be given.
Okay.
Every single away win in the Ashes, as far as I can tell, in the last 20 years has been delegitimised in some way by the opposition.
Yeah.
You know. Stokes shouldn't have declared at Edgbaston.
Yeah.
That was because of England. Carey cheating at Lords.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and we'll do the same here. Oh, this is voided. This is a 3 millimeters of grass issue.
Yeah. Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Let's see what the punters have to say. And there's it goes for quite a while because there's a fair few sentiments, particularly from one country.
Yeah, boys. Legacy. You've just been tongued.
I'll tell you what, this is like finally getting out of the cook chair and having a go yourself. It's satisfying, it doesn't mean anything, but by God, I'm just happy it's happened.
Yeah.
3-1, fuck off.
And with that,
A mighty cheer went up from the people of England. They had banished the Oval Ashes forever because it was haunted. Now let's all celebrate with a glass of fuck off.
We lose every week. We lose every week. Oh shit, Miss Yubi. We lose every week. Oh, all this chat. Ooh, about your furry pitch, your Tyson furry. Ooh, me want me whitewash, me sick. You cunts just got licked out by the tongue. 3-2, fuck off. 3-2, fuck off.
4-3, fuck off. Lift going down. Basement level. English cricket. Oh, you're right, boys. Welcome to our level.
Can only put 10 millimetres of turf on the pitch when there's nothing going on, champion.
I wanted to lose 5-0. So I put Brendan McCullum's head on a pike and parade him around central London.
Yeah, fair fucks, Poms. We thought we'd give you the Participation Award. Fair enough. I can't wait to watch the next test for no reason whatsoever. Another wasted 2 days.
Driving back down the east coast of New South Wales tomorrow after a holiday. Yeah, must be nice. I've got no cricket to listen to. Don't know who you are, but stuff you, Pagey.
This is the PRA. We think that pitch was an abomination. We demand retribution. We demand heads on pikes.
Listen, shit tip, snake pit pitch or not, my team that I like to watch on the telly should be winning. Oh, but at least it's over quickly, says my nan as I sink deep into the couch at the end of day 2. Fuck off, Nan. What are you on about? Honestly, 3-2. Fuck off.
Can we play you? Can we play you? Can we play you every week on an absolute shit tip when we win the toss and bowl and all your best players are missing? Can we play you every week? Get all the boys back to Noosa. 3-2, fuck off.
Yeah, so that's the general sentiment around the world.
I've enjoyed that. And many people have been enjoying Alpha's Champs and Chop Kings, Pezza. A lot of photos sent in about a lot of gift giving to members of one sex, and just someone that you sort of know and you don't know what to get them. It's perfect.
Yep. He likes his cricket, old Billy.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll get him that.
Billy the cunt. I'm going to get him Alpha's Champs and Chop Kings. But you know what? Because of these people, they've made the book the #1 sports book in Australia.
Oh, nice.
This summer.
That's
so
good.
Isn't that nice?
That's good.
You can join us on Patreon for TGC Raw. Coming out every Friday and more consistently and regularly as we move past the crazy test match season anyway. Patreon.com/GreyCricketer. There'll be another 10-minute teaser this week. But if you want to keep following the boys across this odyssey, whatever that means, different to the Christopher Nolan film coming out next year, we will not be covering that. But Patreon.com/GreyCricketer if you want to jump on that. And unfortunately, we were bumped for the big break. Because the game went for 2 days. But we will be back for Sydney. Unless that game ends in 2 days as well for Wasted Saturdays. So keep sending those clips in. And actually, you'll find another episode this week before then on YouTube. All right, Pez, let's talk about the Ashes. Things you don't want to miss, brought to you by Kayo Sports. Only on Fox Cricket, included on Kayo Sports. Ad break free during play and live in 4K. Australia batted first, made 152. And England made 110. Australia made 132. England chased 6 down. 178 for 6 in the end. Josh Tongue was a player of the match for his 7 wickets for 89 runs, including 5 for 45 in the first dig. Let's talk about the deck. Here is what the curator, Matt Page, said a couple of days before the test match, Pezza.
don't know yet. Obviously, next couple of days, with the way the weather is, few showers on Christmas Day, and then obviously we get some heat day 3, day 4. So we'll keep monitoring it to see how much moisture we lose, see how hard we get the surface, and that'll sort of dictate to us how much we leave on the top for Boxing Day. Absolutely not. So we are left to our own devices, which is perfect, and we'll roll out, I guess, the best pitch that we can to, I guess, produce a captivating test match.
So he was asked there about how much grass was going to be on the deck. He was also asked if the captains have any say. That was his response. I think it was 2 days. I think that was Christmas Eve. So 2 days before the game started, of course. And that's what he said. He's going to be some challenges with the weather. And here's what he said after, when he was put in front of the press to be a piñata.
So obviously, last year was 7 mils. We had a lot of hot weather leading into last year, which makes it a lot easier for us to control our moistures leading in. So we left more moisture in the top of the pitch last year to, I guess, provide that contest early up in the game. We had some cooler weather at the back end of the game, but we felt that we had the balance, I guess, leading into that game really, really good. We saw 5 days of really, I guess, captivating cricket, which is what we're trying to produce here with every test pitch. This year we've gone in with 10 mils. We knew we were going to get a lot of hot weather at the back end of the game. I guess issues here with deterioration in pitches, getting very flat has been well documented. We're really conscious of that. We don't want to go back to where we were in 2017. And our grass is vitally important to what we do. We don't get inconsistent bounce. We don't get deterioration in our pitches, and we're trying to balance that contest between bat and ball throughout over the 4 or 5 days to provide that captivating test for all. So for us, we left it longer because we knew we were going to get weather at the back end that we knew we needed our grass at.
So essentially, he's talking about there about how difficult the weather conditions are ahead. So I think Boxing Day was around about 16 degrees, something like that. And tomorrow it is supposed to. Today is going to be like 35, and I think tomorrow is going to be a little bit hotter than that. So that is an extreme swing for those few days. So he's talking there about the difficulties he's had preparing the deck. But I brought it to you, Pezza, that the deck has played an impact in the result and the speed of it in one capacity. I feel like other capacities are technical deficiencies and a lack of intensity, in the sense that when you're watching on day one, I wouldn't say it felt like the series was on the line in any capacity, which is lucky because the series ended the test match before. But you know what I mean? It had a routineness about it. A lack of, which is disappointing given the amount of people that were there and the efforts that people made to get there from both here and abroad. But there were many contributing factors, not just that it was a bit of a shit tip. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm sorry, but it's pretty. There's something insane about watching a fucking a curator flanked by 1,000 journos, having to explain himself for how he fucking gardened the grass.
Yeah,
I
thought the dog collar was a bit much.
There's so much there's a lot of existentialism about this pitch, particularly because it's Boxing Day, what people want to do during this time. There's a sense that the deficiencies in technique are part of, macroeconomic factors that influence players to abandon defensive technique. So is T20 in India to blame for all of this? We must find a scapegoat or whatever. Mm-hmm. And
Jay Shah.
Yeah, and and obviously the I don't think it's a conspiracy theory, but all of this is just clearly smoothing public opinion to sell the BBL. And I think more journos were at that press conference than anyone who's ever watched a BBL draft before. So a lot of it still underneath is showing people's love for Test cricket.
Yeah, totally.
People there is this abiding pervading frustration because people are no. Every single fucking force in cricket at the moment is telling me this is being taken away. And you've got the two countries that love this thing so much. I know people from other countries do as well, don't get me wrong. Yeah. And we're all just together going fuck, how did you do this? And, and it's just I just left a bit of grass on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know how to make a pitch. So I've got a few thoughts.
Well, we've all got thoughts now. But I think your explanation is probably right. We're talking about a true perfect storm of extreme weather, a curator that let's remember, was brought in to revive a dead pitch. And I wonder whether his continued efforts to avoid the ghosts of like dead pitches past or tepid pitches past has caused him to overbalance into this. There is still also a part of me that's like, how does a deck look so shit? And like, forgetting even the length of the grass, like it was discoloured and the lawn looks sick.
Yeah.
And you know, like, how does someone who knows wickets so well have it looking like that? But we're all just left to, I guess, accept that we don't know how pitches work and that it was hot, and we all just go, okay, well, that's a shame. I mean,
it's like when the Wi-Fi's down. It's just annoying.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how it works. Exactly. Yeah. It would, I mean, it's been made very clear that there was no request for that grass, that length of grass. Of course, no one would say there was a request for it. But like for a couple of years, Pagey has been, and I'll call him Pagey, obviously, but he has been shaving it back to 7, and then it was 10 again. And we're just accepting that's because it's going to be hot later.
Yeah.
So
I enjoyed Sir Alistair Cook. This is via the Sunday Times.
Well, he liked the dead deck at the MCG.
He said, I can only apologise to the 2 batting lineups and people with day 3 and 4 tickets for the fact the game was over so quickly. It was after I made 244 in 2017 that they decided to make the pitch more bowler-friendly. It was the best I ever batted. And yet after watching 2 days of it, people decided they never wanted to see anything like it again.
That's good.
That's a masterstroke. That's a masterstroke.
That is a masterclass from Cookie.
Now, poor old Jackson Bird's test match career, his international career was ended on that deck. So, you know, thoughts and prayers with Birdie. But geez, Cook batted well that day for 244. He was a good player. Anyway, yeah, so I noticed Greg Chappell write today about that there was a lack of, determination, I think, from Australia. He was talking about specifically, I mean, Australia losing the game, of course, but, you know, I suppose from Australia, like they've lost a game despite bowling a side out for 110 in 29 overs, you know. Now, England came roaring back into the contest. I thought Bryden Cast was fantastic on the second day. He took 4 for 34, 5 wickets for the match. Tongue obviously fantastic since he's come into the series, but Australia should not have lost this game. I know it seems like a bit more of a lottery. It felt like a shootout in moments, but I think that's also the way that both teams have approached the game, you know. Especially given Australia, we're in a position where I think they were leading by about 100 runs. They were 2 wickets down just before Marnus gets out, so they were 3 down there on day 2. And Gus Atkinson is off the field with a hamstring. He's now obviously out for the series. So England were a bowler down. They were behind in the game, and they've come roaring back to win what is a disappointing game of cricket. Nevertheless, having not done this for 15 years-ish, it's a great result for England. A great result.
Yep. And Australia have cost themselves an opportunity at like a meaningful whitewash as well. I think that England played much better cricket on that second day. Australia shaded them on day 1, but that third innings really fucked Australia. And England bowled well. They were good value for that and exploiting the wicket. I thought that there was a sense that the Aussies had kind of given up in some sense. You know, there was a resignation to some of those dismissals. The way guys are laughing when they get out and that kind of thing suggested to me that part of them had kind of left the building mentally a little bit. It's like, oh, this is a shit tip. You know, we all know that feeling you have in a cricket team. Like, oh, I'm just fuck this. You know, you have you just have that resignation and that permeates the dressing room as well. And then England navigated that far better through a style of cricket that, you know, they have been cultivating for a long time. But I think also chasing in the 4th innings when you know the target that you're trying to get makes it a little bit easier. But they still, you know, how did England describe it? Or maybe Smith did. It was, they whacked it around a bit so they were able to soften the ball, and that took a little bit of the juice out of the deck or whatever. So I don't think there's any, I don't think there should be any indirect or direct suggestion that like the England doesn't deserve this win. You know, that they won the lottery. They played better cricket on day 2. They figured out the X's and O's of this situation better than Australia, and they get the win accordingly. So and it does. I do think it begs questions of the Australian side. You know, and it should.
I think throughout the Test series so far, Australia have played better cricket, and that's been evident in fielding especially. But when I think about on day in the first innings, Australia's about to be bowled out for 150, and they were about 6 for 90 or something like that. And Green and Neese were at the crease. The ball was starting to get a little bit softer, and they put a partnership. So what was it? It was 6 for 91 when Kerry was out, and then Green and Neese put on 52. And then Bryden Cass affects a brilliant run out of Cameron Green. It's moments like this, just great piece of cricket, and then Australia lose their last 4 wickets for 9 runs, right? Okay, so that means the first innings not, a lead, the first innings not about 170, 180, what might have been. Then also, Gus Atkinson, what is he at? He adds 20 runs for the last wicket with Josh Tongue. The deficit is probably too much given how low scoring the game is, but the deficit is 46 instead of 65 or whatever it might have been. Just good bits of cricket that England have hung in there, and also England had probably every right to be just fucking on the beach. Interesting turn of phrase there for me, but given after what happened in Noosa, how poor they've been the first 3 Test matches, it'd be pretty easy to be 9 for 90. And be like, this is too much, and they've hung in, and they've executed some really high pieces of skill in the game, and to chase 170 or whatever it was in the 4th innings is fucking great. So good on them. Doesn't count, obviously, but all the best. No, that's unnecessary. So talking about Australia, I don't know where to start. Can I talk about Cameron Green? Cameron Green. Well, the Australian side's just a bit all over the place anyway. Just given there doesn't seem to be a clear path of what's going to happen next. I mean, they've got themselves over the line. I suppose they've been a bit thrown out by the injuries to Hazelwood and Cummins, and then Lyon, and then Khawaja being out, and Smith missing a game or whatever. So they haven't had a rhythm. But maybe that just happens in pro sport anyway. But now Cameron Green's batting 7. And you look at the numbers over the career, and it's comparable to some of the great players, right? I suppose my problem with it is that he's not really contributing to the game in the same way that other all rounders do. So when I look at Stokes, for instance, Stokes is much more of a frontline bowler and also batting 6. Cameron Green has bowled 37 overs this series. He's taken 3 wickets at 52, 112 runs at 18 with the bat. So if he was being asked to bowl, Stokes has bowled double the amount of overs, as an example. So if he was asked to doing more of the all-rounder role, talk about Callis, one of the absolute greats of the game, but someone that is more of a frontline bowler and asked to score runs, but he's not doing anything at the moment. You know what I mean? His season's been extremely frustrating, given that he played 1 game in the Shield. I think he got 90 or he scored 100 or something like that. He's clearly one of the best players. He's clearly one of the best batters in Australia. He's 26. This team is about to be broken up, I think. And the output is neither one thing nor the other. And it's extremely frustrating because, it's fucking there for him. And it's been there for him for ages. You just want him to put it together, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the question with Cameron Green is do you continue to regard him as a guy that will eventually actualize because the attributes are just too good, are just too appealing to ignore, or do you start selecting him on the basis of performances? Other mere mortals are required to do. He's still being picked on potential, and he's coming closer to that time, I think, if and in many people's views, it would be overdue that that he earned his position, but there are bigger existential issues within Australian cricket that make that a more complicated question than it seems. We don't operate in a pyramid anymore, and every time Green goes back to Shield cricket, he's the best fucking player there. So do you conclude that his issues are in the top 2 inches or centimeters or whatever baseball guys say? That we're talking about a mental issue. How much rope do you give someone who might point out that he's batted in 5 different positions in the last 5 tests? At the start of the summer, he was a decent shot to be Australia's number 3. Now he's Australia's number 7. A year ago, before he got injured, he was going to be the opening batter. I'm not saying this to excuse poor performance, but everybody does understand that role clarity, knowing what you do in a team, is usually pretty helpful. I understand the message from the Australian team in some kind of defense of Green is that he's plugging holes where others aren't scoring runs as well. So there's all sorts of deck chairs knocking around now, trying to figure out the best way for the Australian team to make runs. And Green is he's been helping others, and now others are trying to help him. Now Carey's going to number 6. That to me, the bigger macro issue in Australian cricket is that like a lot of these guys are getting old. A transition is coming up, and who is going to make those decisions along what strategic lines? I feel like Green is caught up within that. I do think that he's a guy that they need for the next team that comes in. He should be given a clear role. To me, that is just as a number 6 all-rounder who is not expected to average 50 and bowl at 25. And I think the catch-22 of that, or the paradox of that, is that's probably when you will get those performances from him, or you might. But I think if he was left out of the SCG test, it'd be entirely reasonable, for Bo Webster.
Yep. I think that's just about where we're at with Greeny. Another one is Marnus, who's averaging 24 for the series. Another guy that when you go back to state cricket...
Too good.
Different surfaces perhaps. But it's just, Andrew McDonald was saying this morning in a press conference that they feel like he has gone away from like looking busy and trying to score, which certainly looks like. I mean, he looks...
He's pulled out the I word. Intent.
Intent, right.
Yeah. Catman-do styles. Just look to score, mate.
It's fucking extremely frustrating again, Now, like, obviously these guys are playing on difficult surfaces. So I wouldn't say that Adelaide was a difficult surface. I wouldn't then say necessarily Brisbane was a difficult surface.
Well, he made runs in Brisbane.
And Perth was obviously getting better. He obviously scored a 50 when Travis Head was peeling off 100, and we know where that came from. But it's still frustrating where, like, you've got this guy who was averaging 60 a couple of years ago. Like, that doesn't just happen. Like, that's in the locker somewhere. And right now it feels like, well, the Marnus problem hasn't really been solved as it was developing the last sort of 18 months, 2 years before he was dropped.
What if he did just have the hot hand for like 3 years?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Be
Everyone,
amazing.
it's just like, and people are like, no, this is just luck.
He scored 14 test hundreds by luck. He got dropped a lot, remember?
Exactly. Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
Exactly.
Jake Weatherald's another interesting one where, like,
the wrong guys are falling off. The next guys, the guys who are meant to be in the next team are falling off, and the older guys like Kawaja 39 making 80s. Like, it's the wrong kind of 80 that I need.
Yeah, that's right.
Right now,
Weatherald like came in the first couple of test matches looked good, and then it's just sort of fallen away. Littleby's averaging 20 for the series. But on this plus side, Head, Carey and Smith are averaging 54, 48 and 45, so that definitely helps. But, I was looking at, like, the modes of dismissal in that third innings, Pezza, when Australia bowled out for 132 in, the 34 overs.
Yeah.
34 overs, something like that.
Get forward.
Some of the modes of dismissal are, like Carey, Green, Kawaja. I think Stokes' ball to Weatherald is a peach. He leaves it, but it decks back a mile and it kisses off bail. It's a pretty good ball. Head gets a Jaffa from Cast. He gets castled as well. And, so, like, I wonder, like, how much the previous balls before the dismissal ball is actually getting them out. Because remember, Marnus, there started to be a bit of, like, up and down in the deck as well. Like, Marnus got hit in the hand twice in a row or twice in an over, perhaps,
Yeah.
You know what that's like when you're watching that happen from the dressing room. So maybe, like, the actual wicket balls weren't getting them out. It was the balls beforehand which were deviating. And it's fucking scary when you think, like, you don't know where the ball's going. You might get hit. I mean, it's terrifying. So maybe that's the case. But, I mean, once again, you come back to Australia being effectively 2 for 100 and something in the third innings and losing 8 for 70 to essentially lose the game from there. So that's extremely disappointing. No one could figure it out or just hang in, especially with a bowler down. So, I mean, Australia's allowed to have bad days, I suppose, especially in dead rubbers. But I'm pretty flat about the performance. I probably take umbrage with the idea that Australia's shit.
I think that's the only conclusion.
Yeah,
that's what I'm gathering, that Australia's actually shit, and I feel like that's been the vibe for about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
The team has 2 or 3 batters that are scoring runs and 3 or 4 that aren't. Well. Yeah. You're just going to scarcely find a cricket team where that's not happening, right? Like, and they do play on decks that like challenge the bat a lot, where the ball probably favours over the bat. They're also playing in an era where batters aren't incentivized to develop defense as much as they used to. And then they have a world-class bowling attack. And so, yeah, you can call them shit relative to cricket you've seen before, but then the teams they play against are worse than shit. So, so are we just watching shit cricket? Because I think that's really the question that's really the sense of unease that I felt was around the crowd. I mean, we were sitting there and certain shots players were playing were actually eliciting boos from the crowd, and that wasn't when Joe Root was batting. You know, like there was a sense of like, you know, this is not what I want to do with my holidays. So, you know, I don't want to watch this confluence of like a really seeming deck on a furry, thatchy wicket and guys solving for it with T20 cricket, you know, but like there's, you know, we've had two-day tests now where like the solution from players to each difficulty is to throw the bat. And perhaps that contributes to the sense that the Australian batting lineup is flaky and can be got at or anything. And when you connect that with the runs that England score at home, you go, oh, yeah, they don't score as many runs, but then England plays on fucking roads. So when Australia plays on a road, they score runs well. So I feel like Australia's batting lineup is flaky, but for a lot of like external factors, you know, and they still tend to score more runs than the opposition. You know, so I think they're a pretty decent side. 17 wins, 4 losses since Ashes 2023. It's going to be a better record than any other team. And England managed that extreme situation better than them on day 2. And to me, the questions are more matters of complacency. And what is it about this Australian side that like kind of that means when so there's something about this Australian side where like when there's no stakes, they are unders. You know, like they do not like a foot on the throat. They like to do enough, you know, and then have a beer. And, you know, if ever there was a situation like that, it was the MCG where they're 3-0 up and, you know, then they're on a deck that many might consider a lottery.
I think just going back to... So England with 3 for 8, Harry Brook comes in, runs down to Stark first ball and tries to bomb him and plays and misses, right? And that's where like boos echoed around the great Colosseum, which is the MCG.
And the secular cathedral, that is the MCG.
I think about, you know, some people were critical about how excited Australians were when Constas did his thing against Bumrah. There is something extremely important to the Australian cricket community about the last 2 test matches. Now, when the circus comes to town, if you're Adelaide, Perth or Brisbane or Hobart or whatever, it's fantastic when the circus comes to town, right? But how important like the Boxing Day test match is, and I suppose to a lesser extent the SCG, but still important. How much the community just rallies around like that. That's our grand final, which goes for a week. You know, it's the build up to it, it's the excitement, it's you know, it's the members like piling in, it's people like planning hotels and flights, and it's all wrapped up with Christmas, and you dress up and you go with your mates and you're talking about it, and there's nothing else going on. Everything's closed and it's exciting, right? And that's why I think like when Constas did his thing, that's like 10:30 a.m. on Boxing Day is like one of the most watched entertainment products in Australian history every day of the year, right? And I think that's why people got so excited by it. It's like, oh, fuck, this is the future. And at the same time, when Harry Brook's running down the wicket and plays and misses, it's like, I don't want to watch... like, this thing is already getting taken away from him. Now, like, in the end, he makes a contribution to the game because he, you know, what does he score? He's got 40 in the first innings or something like that. He's out now, he's got 40.
And 18 red, so...
Yeah, okay, yeah. So, it's like the way England have played this series, it's so cat on a hot tin roof. It's so low percentage that most of the time it won't come off, and this time it sort of did. Is that an unfair read of the game? And couple that with the the Australian public's reaction to it being like, I don't want to watch this anymore.
Well, I think with Constas, you know, like people were saying probably unpopularly at the time, this won't work either. You know, that it was not a beginner's luck thing, but he rolled the dice and it came up. You know, for him, and it's probably proven itself out. Right, so I do think there's a general malaise from people around the style of cricket that they're watching, given that this style of like, I'm going to hit out before I get out is available in every other fucking game that's happening around the world. And so we're watching a Yeah, we're watching macro forces at play. Like players respond this way because they're incentivized to do so, like economically. Like these are all amazing players, you know. And I'm sure if they play in a different era, they would develop the kind of fierce defense that one might if that's what best helped your career, right? So I felt that was really the underlying vibe. I don't think it's like England style of play draws you down into this and then we all have to play this way. Though, you know, I have felt that at different times. I think this test in particular was like, because the deck was so difficult, people just got the shits that it was like, well, the deck sucks and the way they're dealing with it is like they're not trying to grit it out. People are, and there's something positive about it, I think, as a flip side. Like, people are kind of saying they wouldn't have minded a bit of grit, you know what I mean? Like, I think the corporatists, you know, the suits, they want to tell you that that all we want, you know, or that we're all just TikTok brain and all we want is, you know, crash and bash and colours and sounds and stuff like that. And, you know, for most of the day I do, you know. But I think a lot of people are saying, like, grit would have been good. There's an appreciation of grit. There's an appreciation of slow food. There's appreciation of something tantric and sensual, you know, and slow, you know, about Test cricket. And particularly during this period of the year, which is defined by its slowness. This is us getting away from the pace of the, you know, how fast life is these days. So that, I think a lot of the frustration comes from that. Maybe if you throw in England style as well, you know, it makes it even more warp speed. But that argument doesn't really stand up, given that England won. You know, that style worked. So.
Moving forward to Sydney, Gus Atkinson.
Can I just quickly pick one up, just
Sorry,
because
mate,
I don't think this will upset anybody, but just with Stokes' comments post game, said on the pitch, brutally honest, that's not what you want. Boxing Day Test match, you don't want a game finishing less than 2 days. So far, so good. I agree. Right,
spot on. Next
line. I'm pretty sure if that was somewhere else in the world, there'd be hell. He was asked to clarify. I said no, won't. I'll surmise he's referring to, you know, the reaction to pitches when they're extreme in India, for example.
Sure.
Am I like missing something, or is not everybody agreeing, particularly from Australia, that this pitch was fucking shit?
Was this on the front page of the news on the 28th of December? Yes,
like
it was.
This is the discourse, around this deck here in Australia has been unanimously critical. Has it not? Like, apart from a couple of older guys going like, I would have got forward, and that's fine. They could do that.
That's good.
Yeah, there's always a place for those people, but like that is not the response that you get in other places.
The groundsman did a fucking press conference.
Yeah.
He was put out to apologise.
Yeah, and
what are we talking about?
Did he apologise enough as well?
Yeah,
did we get everything that we wanted? But I don't understand I actually don't really understand that comment. Like, I mean, there has been fucking hell, like, to pay for this. This poor guy's like, he's taken the entire rap. Not even sure it's clear that it was like completely his decision that the deck was this. So do I need to be disabused of some perspective here? I don't understand. I mean, no. Hell is being paid. Australians are ropeable about the deck.
Furious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, and now we're going to have a bit. Now Todd Greenberg, CEO of Cricket Australia, has said there probably does need to be more involvement from, the administration, just to make sure the deck is commercially fit for purpose. So, because of Pagey's love of grass, and because of the demons of Alistair Cook's runs, we are now going to go back to a batting era. We're now going to employ pitch czars like Tsar Nicholas II, before the Russian Revolution, 1917.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ivan the Terrible, and that's how they said Ivan back then.
Yeah.
Peter the Great,
Billy the Cunt.
Billy the Cunt. He was a czar. Craig McDermott is overseeing the pitches. Let's bring two things together. But this is the new way we're going to have to manage pitches now. It's going to be by committee. Pagey's going to be in a Cricket Australia tracksuit next year. India was right all along.
Yeah.
And we bow down and genuflect.
Of course we do. Of course we do. Gus Atkinson ruled out with that string. So I guess England down, no Jofra, no Woody, no Gus.
Okay, so they're 3 out now.
They're 3 out now. Lyon, Cummins, Hazelwood.
I suppose England's 4 out with Bashir, but that's by choice, I
That's
guess.
a different situation, I think. Yeah. So there's that.
So finally, I mean, maybe it's on as even now. Finally, we get the even contest. What are we saying? England's 3 out, Australia's 3 out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't think I want to pitch it like that because I'm worried. Yeah, that's a shame that Atkinson's out for Australia's excuses.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because like 3-0 11 days plus the cartel's not even there, and now things are coming back.
Do we recall how much of a shit tip that SCG was pitch was last year?
That was a monster.
Let's get the I'll get the scores up here. What was it? Australia v India 2025. What are we looking at here? Sorry, just bear with me. I'm just on the internet. That's how it works. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, white ball. So yeah, of course the white ball stuff. Yeah.
You got to get through that stuff on the SEO stuff.
Okay. Here we go. India made 185, Australia 181, India 157, Australia 162 for 4. Of course, people will remember that Bumrah, WWE styles, was put into a car.
Oh, that's right. The shaky camera.
Yeah, and in the bowels of the stadium. So he did not bowl, and Australia chased 162.
Slug 50.
Slug 39 off 34.
Pardon me.
Travis said 34 off 38.
That's 50 now.
Australia were 3 for 58, 4 for 100, and they put on those last two put on 60 odds. So that was a game that was over real quick. What are we looking at there?
Day 3.
So India batted 72 overs in the first innings for 185. Australia 50 overs for 181. India bowled out in 39 overs for 157. And then Australia chased 162 in 27 overs, going at 6 and over. So that's actually remarkably similar, except for the first innings, to this SCG, to the MCG test matches. Now, anyway, so
Adam Lewis, SCG curator, is just sitting there going like, I've got to make a road now.
Is it going to rain? Can it rain, please?
Because the SCG was a dead deck too.
It used to be, yeah.
2 CEO decks were brought to life, and now we need to go back to the CEO deck. We've all become very fiscally aware, haven't we, of like cricket's coffers, or at least when it comes to like what you lose out of a test match. I don't know if we're like as aware of other money that's made within cricket, but we're all very like concerned about what's made and what's lost. I mean, I think CA is about to do a deal for about $1 billion for the BBL. Like I think there's money. I'm sure the Boffins would love that analysis. That's straight out of the Fin Review. That stuff.
I'm sure there's money.
I'm sure. No, I mean, there's money in cricket knocking about. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So, but Adam Lewis has now got to make a road, which is the decks we were trying to avoid because England are good on them. So that's what they play on. So. Yeah, Australia's very much living in a fine margin situation now. You know what I mean? Like, not too much of a snake pit, not too much of a road.
Yeah.
Don't put 10 mil. Let's make it more 7, 7.5. And we've got to win. And
who would England down to in their bowling attack? Would it be like Potts? Would he be next cab?
Yeah.
Hull? Josh Hull?
No, I don't think Hull's close. No, Potts is the next guy. He's in the squad, yeah.
Hull was playing for the Lions, but he might have gone back. I'm not sure if he's stuck around. Yeah. So I think Potts was fielding, I think, at some point in this game. So I guess, like, looking to Sydney, are they going to play a spinner? Do you know when they announced the squad?
There's been some indications from Australia without them announcing the squad. I mean, England tend to do it like a couple of days out. Australia wait more, but from Australia's perspective, the headline is Alex Malcolm, of course. What a summer Alex Malcolm's had, by the way, as well. Please get around him,
especially off the field.
Oh, mate.
What does that even mean?
Don't start on him off the field.
Oh, well,
yeah. Just a retiring family man, and just a hard worker. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
That's what he wants you to think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just don't judge a book by its cover. There, don't worry about that. Khawaja locked in for Sydney amid uncertainty over his future.
Okay,
Alex doesn't write the headlines, but Andrew McDonald has said in relation, so questions are like, are we looking at a farewell test for Uzi here, given that he's 39 years of age and the next test after this isn't for 8 months? McDonald says, we've been really clear that we haven't had a conversation. The speculation has been from the external. He's with his family at the moment, having a couple of days off. We'll build into Sydney, and we're always having conversations about where players are at and speaking directly with players, and there's no indication at my end that he's calling it in Sydney. So that'll be something that we'll discuss. But his performance in this calendar year has been good enough to warrant selection. So I'd say he'd be there marking centre in Sydney. So that is one decision made, you'd have to say. I suppose McDonald is leaving open the possibility that Khawaja makes a comment to him. But I'd suggest that we don't live in an era anymore where players really call it, apart from Warner 2 years out or whatever. There's so much money that these guys make. And Khawaja should be on near 7 figures. And I don't think there should be an imposition or an obligation, morally or otherwise, on Khawaja to make this call. This is why this is the tougher role of selectors. I would suggest it's not unreasonable that a 39-year-old who's I guess by the time top end series starts in Bangladesh, you can say he's pushing 40. Is tapped on the shoulder, basically.
If I'm Uzi, I'm thinking, geez, there's a lot of uncertainty with the batting lineup right now. Weatherald has not nailed his place down. Marnus, I'm not sure he's nailed his place back down. Inglis played 2 games, didn't secure his spot. Cameron Green is certainly no lock anymore, I would suggest. And I'm I'm actually hitting the ball pretty well. So I could I play, for that India series in sort of 14 months' time? Maybe I could. And if I get there, maybe we'll Test Championship final if the Aussies make it there. Then after that, another away Ashes. So, if I feel like I'm pretty good, then now that's what I'd be thinking if I was him. But at the same time, would you want to announce your farewell Test match the day before, so you get the cheers of the crowd, the celebration, maybe a guard of honour? I mean, is 88 Test matches enough for a guard of honour? It's pretty close. A great contributor to the game, won a lot of things. Would you want that, or would you want the petering out of the career?
Well, let's work out the business case, right? Because there's value in the PR that would come, right?
I think so.
If Khawaja says now this would be it for me, in front of where and the natural narrative of where it started, came out at number 3, which was controversial at the time, very controversial, for a host of reasons. But he batted number 3 with a series done 2010. He, when England's, was their best team since 2010. He played that sweep shot, got out in 37, and Australia lost by an innings, or whatever. But he looked good. The promise was unbelievable. The SCG is also where he was reinstated to the side because 1,000 people had COVID and twin tons, etc. And then he finishes it off there. The number of articles, the column inches, the conversations that would have and this is what happens, the lauding of someone who is coming to the end, where, in the eulogizing of you just go well, what a great player. And the stories will be of elegance, of resilience, of he's an iconoclastic type player. He has stood up to a lot of status quo that needed some shaking up in Australian cricket. There's and the story will be about him, and I think there is business in that, in terms of he'll go into the commentary box, his story will be shaped, etc. But probably not as much business as just getting a CA contract.
And then doing the same thing 2 years down the line.
He's got the deshies. He's got the deshies in the top ends. It's flat there.
Get the broom out. Get the broom out for the deshies.
Exactly. There's no. He'll be looking at them going what is it? What's the Fiza? Is that Bangladesh? No, that could be Afghan. Anyway, and that's me. That's my ignorance. But he might fancy a couple of tests up the top end there. He's how many Shield games are there? How many games of Shield do I have to play?
Kiwis out here next summer.
Oh my God! Let us take another few trips around the sun.
So disrespectful.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
So hang on, there's 20 tests. So from August onwards, there's 20 tests that come quick fire. Now, in between that, So This is the big question for the Australian selectors now. It's after this Test match, they don't play for 8 months. Then it's Bangladesh 2 tests, top end at home, into South Africa away,
yeah.
three for.
That looks hard.
That's going to be hard, and they're going back to Cape Town, and that'll be cool. And then it's the Kiwis, so runs, into 5 tests away in India, which will be the thing where people are like, well, Khawaja is the spin king now. Into the sesquicentenary test,
yes, of course,
which is a pink ball test, and that's a disgrace. For the old guys who have to come out and have to stay up at night. Yeah. And then there's 5 tests in England, right? There's another Ashes. So I don't know.
Now, okay, if I was making my case to Woozy, you get chaired off the ground at the SCG, and in 6 months you're playing off scratch.
Yeah, not bad.
He gets even more golf in.
Yeah.
You know? Well, maybe playing less golf because he's at home.
He doesn't have to play Shield anymore either.
He's got responsibilities at home, you know, like, so maybe actually being on the road, maybe just a little bit easier.
Yeah. The case for Khawaja to hang him up.
He's going to keep playing, isn't he? He's going to try.
I mean, 1,000%. He's also going to be like, no, you like I've worked very hard to get back into this team. I'm not about to self-select out. You're going to have to do it. And also, you know how hard it is to talk to me because I will go back. Maybe George Bailey just doesn't like conflict. Has anyone ever thought about that?
Yeah, one of those kind of characters.
Yeah, exactly. Just I don't do it. It's not in the locker.
I'll be the chair of
selectors. The chair of selectors, but I do not like conflict.
Do you want to play? Okay.
Yeah. See, there's all these books out there about fierce conversations and how to have them. Australia's success has come off the back of someone who just does not like conflict. And look how well they've done.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, I don't see it all falling over in a heap.
The team's going to be... Let's talk about Jai Richardson, who's like exciting to come back. I like the action, seen it good in the nets, all that kind of stuff, but just did not realise he was bowling 10 Ks an hour slower than what it was 4 years ago. Now, you know, losing your shoulder 15 times since then is going to do that, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but... you know, it's like it's still a fine bowler. Probably a bit underused, as I was saying on the daily. Like only bowled 4 overs in the first innings, maybe 5 or 6 in the second. I know the game didn't go for very long, so blokes weren't getting into a third spell per se. But he was the fourth. He was second change. And I just wonder like what that selection is over Doggett necessarily. So like Doggett's got the runs on the board, the wickets in the bank at Shield level. Pretty unfortunate for Doggett. You know, like he's been asked to play a role for Australia that he's never done before in Shield cricket. He gets an opportunity to be in the squad for the biggest shit tip of the series so far, and he gets leapfrogged by a guy who's hardly played. So no, I mean obviously like some guys just do get back in and around the group because they like it, and obviously they do like Richardson. It's just a little bit surprised, I suppose, and also Richardson bowled well. But
is this what it is? Is this Richardson 2.0 though? Like is it like low 130s full and seaming it around a little bit with a bit of swing? Because I'm not in the market for that, and I'm shopping. Richardson was more. There was a 4 in that second number there, or pushing. Yeah, and we're full and we're swinging it around. Yep. And so I'm like, you know, I know they've thought of Richardson. They think very, very highly of Richardson. Right. He's always been next cab if fit, etc. But I mean, if like. Have they selected him for a test match where he's still working his way back to top speed?
Sort of felt
like was this just a training run for him? Yeah. Like, was it a loads up game for Richardson? You know, like, I hope that's the case, because that's insane if they've done that. But I hope that's the case, because if this is what God, this is fucking harsh to say, right? But I'm like, no, it's just because it used to be a 1-4 thing.
You should be like mid 140.
Yeah, 150.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, we're pushing 160.
Yeah, down
really.
Breeze 160.
We'll get to Binger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I hope it was a loads based selection. Whereas it was so Doggett's sitting there going like, okay, so I'm glad Jai Richardson gets a Boxing Day test to get his loads up.
Yeah. Hey, boss sniffs? No. Okay.
Not really. Yeah.
It was interesting. SAG playing a spinner. I don't know. Is Webster play?
McDonald's made some favourable comments about Webster, I think, that he's not so much that he's going to play, but... he
and Inglis got released back to BBL squads. That was for the Boxing Day test.
Right.
So I guess they'll make a final squad.
He has gone back to the BBL to play a game for the Hurricanes, but he'll be considered. Yeah, anyway. It'd be interesting to see if Green gets another crack, to be honest, or if he's punished. And again, we've talked about this. Green needs some kind of moments to get that neck tattoo attitude.
Exactly right. Any other business on the Ashes?
AOB from me. Look. Ben Cameron, wonderful producer, ABC Cricket, and presenter, and good golfer. And I know we're with Triple M this summer, and every time we see him in the box, he boos us and gives us a thumbs down. But great operator, and I didn't say grade operator.
Yeah,
he was the one who tweeted the other day that a prominent Victorian has floated the idea of a one-day match tomorrow.
Yeah,
it has been put to CA officials. Suggestion is to put $1 million up for the winning team. Throwback to January 71 after 3 days rained out in the Melbourne Test. First limited overs match played. Now, Hetty responded saying no chance, essentially. I just want to talk about the $1 million figure, right, for the winners. And I guess if you win, that's split evenly among 11. It just goes to show the power of T20 cricket. But like Kratz gets paid more for like a night at the Kotler bowling 3 overs than what he'd get out of that. So I think they would have needed to up that figure there.
Yeah, it was just the players getting it. Yeah.
Yeah.
$1 million. Bitcoin. 1 Bitcoin up for grabs. Now we're talking. It's live on Kayo Sports, all with no ad breaks during playing in 4K. Here's Barney Ronay.
It's very rare that we get to do this in the flesh, IRL, in physical human form, not through a screen. But we have chief sports writer for The Guardian, Barney Ronay, in TGC Towers, sitting across from us in the physical form. Barney, welcome to this thing, or whatever this thing is.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm entirely comfortable with this.
Yeah. And why is that?
I just prefer having screens between me and people.
Yes.
Actually, coming here it's been an eye-opener. I mean, we all exist on the internet. But come to our office, what are you going to find exactly? And you normally expect a kind of green screen or some kind of basement set up with, maybe even parents banging on the door. But I can confirm you actually have an office and it's a real room that grown-up humans would be in. I'm really impressed.
Yeah. That's. Can I just read into that a little bit there? Because I'm insulted. So because when you walked in, the first thing you said was, "Do you share this with somebody?" Yeah. And now you've just alluded to the idea that you expected parents to be around banging on the door.
Yeah. I mean, this is just based on my previous experiences of
with us,
the people on podcasts, in which I include myself. But no, this is really, really grown up.
I want you to know that I don't have a bedtime.
Yes, you do.
Okay, I do.
Yeah,
but
I've seen your whoop scores. Can I get this off?
Yeah, please. Yeah,
Barney. England defeated Australia away from home in a game of Test match cricket. That's a fact. The Test match was played in an atypical context. That is, the game was a dead rubber in extreme conditions. Does that matter? What flowers are owed to England after this win?
It's really hard to understand, isn't it? There's so many. There's both no narrative and too many narratives, and I've got this feeling of people circling this event. I think it's kind of like you're outside a bar and no one really knows what's going on, and is someone going to do something? Is something going to kick off here? Because no one really knows how to appreciate this thing. I mean, there was some kind of thing that you could have described as the concept we call baseball, but that lasted for 10, 15 overs. There was a bit of slogging, and that was that. Is it a triumph of anything? I don't know. I mean, can I shock you? I actually don't think the pitch was that bad. It wasn't an outrage. I get the feeling that I'm slightly worried about Australia here, because England were rightly derided for the moral victory stuff, which I'm not sure how many people actually believe that was real, but it was really seized on as the most annoying thing anyone's ever said to anyone. You play a serious hard sport, and then someone says, actually, they had the moral victory there. But we've got into kind of the idea that this England's victory here was an immoral victory. Like Australia has gone the other way a little bit. Let's have a McCarthyite public inquisition of the poor old groundsman who's essentially a gardener. And
We call them curators here.
Yeah, I know, as though he's making
Yeah.
a museum, or he's Andy Warhol. He's a gardener. He mows the grass, and he's been forced to stand on the courtroom steps like it's Batman and defend himself like he's trying to be elected in Batman. And it's and in that situation, you always end up being assassinated. And Batman's in the crowd and has to run off. But that didn't happen. But I've read like non-test, non-event, scrub this from the memory. Let's just never talk about this again.
It doesn't count because the grass was too long.
It doesn't count, because the pitch was hard to bat on, which in a way kind of makes it a better victory, does it? I don't know, but I think Australia needs to be careful with this. Let's not get into immoral victories territory. It did happen, and it's quite a thing for these players and confusing for everyone, really, because we all have our takes. And trying to fit this into my take it's involved loads of mental gymnastics.
I think Andy Warhol does the SCG these days anyway, so he's the curator.
He's nervous.
He will be nervous, yeah. Barney, what I want to say to you is, how dare you? How dare you come to Australia and you sing your songs and you want to watch your team win? And I want to say, how dare you? Because this is our summer where we treat you as human pinatas and we just batter you. And then you win a fucking T20 at the MCG in a dead rubber, and now you think you're the best team ever. Now, apologise for Prince Andrew.
Yes. I mean, the celebration police thing has been in force. And that's entire. I mean, come on. It wouldn't be sport, and it certainly wouldn't be cricket, and it certainly wouldn't be England-Australia without some disapproval of the manner in which you celebrate victory in the moment of victory.
That's right.
I mean, I was kind of feeling that a bit. And I mean, we spoke to Joe Root on the outfield just after the game, and he just looked really pleased. Like his life has been really hard, really stressful. I mean, Joe Root doesn't play white ball cricket. Like he's one of the players in that team who I rely on, because this has to feel like it really matters. It has to feel epic. It has to feel like Jonathan Trott's about to have a heart attack in the dressing room. Someone's retiring. People hate each other. They're going to, it has to really matter. And my fear with this England team is that maybe it won't matter. There won't be a crack up. There won't be a break. Will Jacks will just go and play T10, and this will be an interesting point in his career. It's probably actually a good marketing pitch for the Gulf Vipers or whatever. Like you come out slightly higher on the Google hits of England cricketers.
It's all SEO.
That's what's really worried me, that there won't be a crack up. And there hasn't been one yet. I mean, it has to hurt. It has to be like, you can enjoy this, but it's got to be like, Test cricket should feel like one of those things in the film Seven. One of the punishments is an Ashes tour to Australia. But the point was that Joe Root, he looked really happy. Like, he didn't have a good game. He scored 100 here, but I think he's having a few problems actually still with the same things. But I know he works so hard in trying to bat on these pitches. People who say, "Oh, why doesn't he just play that ball on fifth stump slightly better?" But I spoke to him once, and he said he'd spent 2 months in the indoor school before he came here just working on that shot. It's really hard, and the bowlers are really good. And he just looked delighted to have finally won a test match here. We said, "What about the pitch? Wasn't it rubbish?" He said, No, you just play what's in front of you. You just run with it and you try and win." And so that was good, and it made me think it was real. And the fact that he looked happy, it has to be important. I think it has to be good for Test cricket that England won this game, because otherwise it's just 5-0 every time, and people really will stop caring.
No, there's no problem with that. But do we? So just on the pitch quickly. So it sounds like you're not apportioning much explanation for the game on the pitch, and so if so. Do you agree that blokes should just get behind it, / get forward? Is TikTok brain ruining cricket? Is batting dead?
I mean, it's difficult because I actually do think that.
No, that's why I'm asking.
And actually do sort of agree with, generic 50-something former cricketer who says they're just not capable of batting. I think it's actually true, and for good reason. I mean, here's this 5-day thing that's really difficult, and all the bowlers are the best bowlers you ever face in that style of cricket. But if you never play that, except on the occasion when you play that, and don't train for it, you're not going to be very good at it. And there is a situation where blokes from 40 years ago play on that pitch, and we have a 4-day game where nobody gets more than 70, and you say that was a brilliant test match. I mean, I grew up on watching I can sound really old now, but I grew up on watching Graham Gooch against the West Indies at Headingley, getting 150 odd in 270. And this thing has almost killed him. It's so difficult. He's hit everywhere. And that is just like a beautiful thing to watch. And the reason England bat like this now is because they are aware that they simply don't have time to train themselves to bat like that. And they've made what is a rational decision in some ways, that they're going to win more games batting in a way that absolutely infuriates people. I mean, the talk of putting the pressure back on the bowler has become a deeply annoying cliche. I don't think Mitchell Starc feels any pressure when he's got 3 for 8 and you run down the pitch to your first ball. He's not quaking in his boots. He probably quite likes that. But they have actually won a game, which no one else did. And annoyingly, when you've already set yourself out to kick this regime really violently and stamp on it and put your foot on its throat, you have to say, well, in a sense, that worked and it's a thing.
I think a lot of the frustration, all the frustrations about how short this game went, right? Because, you know, for us, like when these test matches come round, it's tied up with family and Christmas and school holidays and time away from work and all these sort of things. And when you look at, I'm even including like number 10s being able to really play, like really bat, you know, like because they have to bat in T20 cricket as well and score runs quickly. There is no defence anymore, and even the emotional toll that playing so much cricket takes. Why are they playing so much cricket? They're playing in T20 tournaments, that they're flying in and out of hotels, you know, that they're playing endlessly. There is no time to graft. You know what I mean? So but I think like we're actually seeing the effect of T20 cricket in the game itself now, because I mean, the guys are exhausted anyway. There is no defence anymore. And now we're getting like 2-day test matches when really what we want is like just the cricket to be on, you know, like it has been.
Yeah. Well, it was on in Adelaide and that was a good game and a good pitch. I think England invent ghosts for themselves. I think that they really are a strange little group of people who whisper to each other. And I don't think they do play that much cricket. I don't think they are as tired as they say they are. I think it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you actually look at it, they actually barely played any cricket. It's just like literally not true that they are playing constantly and exhausted constantly. That's not happening. I don't know what I think they're also obsessed with the intrusiveness of the world, which we all suffer from. The constant... Rob Key literally talks in these meetings about clips. Oh, there's all these clips on social media. Cricket never leaves you alone. Cricket will stalk you into, you know, into the toilet when you're going, you know, everywhere, as it does all of us when don't do that. It's not good. Most smartphones are full of fecal bugs. But I can guarantee it seems like Rob Key's smartphone is full of fecal bugs because he talks about this stuff. And I think you shouldn't be talking about that. You shouldn't allow... I mean, he's a broadcaster. He's someone in the media. He's clearly terminally online. But they have created an environment where they've convinced themselves that they're exhausted and that cricket is stalking them everywhere. And I just don't think it is. And that if they said to themselves, well, we're actually quite fresh because I haven't played a red ball game since July, they might feel differently. Professional sportsmen have to play a lot. That's just what happens. Footballers genuinely play every 3 days and play all summer now as well. I don't see cricketers doing that. I think it's just that cricket is such an all-encompassing entity that it never lets you go. Nobody switches off from the game. I mean, you know, they went to Noosa to switch off, but they clearly didn't. It was clearly that is still part of cricket. Being some blokes walking around in sliders, bantering with people on the beach is still cricket. You're always at a barbecue with Alan Lamb in cricket. Everyone is a mental barbecue with Alan Lamb. And that's what it is. So I think that they have got a problem there in the way they manage them. They're also scared of Australia, England. They really are over scared. I don't think they're constantly abused here. I don't think it's you're playing the entire nation. I don't know where that comes from.
So I know that you have called for the I guess the permanent expulsion of the term baseball. But if you'll permit me, I feel like what you were describing there is an experience that a lot of cricketers have at all levels, which is that the game does stalk you, particularly mentally. You take it to your sleep. You wrestle with its inherent anxiety. It's a game where you mainly fail, and I feel like baseball, if nothing else, has been a movement designed to try and wrestle with and almost remove the anxiety of cricket from the game. It create a type of utopia so appealing to players in its in the ways that it can make the game absent from you, right? So you describe baseball as a cult. Do you then describe it as a death cult? Where are you up to with it now?
I'm trying to think what have we got? We've got sex cults. I don't think it's one of those. But what's interesting, what you say, is that baseball failed on its own terms, because that is true. That's always what it's been about: stripping back, paring back, and that was a good idea initially. But they came here and blinked. They were not fearless. They have even. We spoke to McCullum, and he talked about the players being too tense, too hyped up, too adrenal, too ready. The bowling performance on the first day in Perth was really full on and really like, wow, this is something. But that was a symptom of them being too tightly wound as well. Like, it worked there, but after that they actually looked shot and they looked a bit exhausted. So it's failed on its own terms, because they weren't able to take that anywhere. Like, okay, you strip things back, but what do you put into that void? I think McCullum is essentially a motivational speaking course that got out of hand. You know, it's the guy who comes in and you spend an afternoon talking about, you know, the farmer's got a chicken and he wants to take it over here, or oh, close your eyes and fall back into your teammate's arms. Yeah. And they've said, this guy's brilliant, put him in charge of the company. But then it turns out he doesn't know how to book hotels or what accounting is or how you hire people. And he doesn't want to go to meetings. He's got nothing in his briefcase. It's like you need to place something in that void. And I don't feel that there's any actual substance there about how, okay, strip back, but what goes into that? And they haven't been able to create the right kind of pressure for themselves, because you need some kind of pressure in these environments. You can't coddle people. And when Stokes says things like weak men and that kind of things, that's a really clumsy attempt to reinsert some kind of content and resistance and a sense of sinew into his team. Whereas a really expert leader and someone who actually understands things other than talking about transcendent states of being would have known that you have to then insert some kind of way of occupying the mind even. And what's happened instead is all those feelings of anxiety, and there's a vacuum. And what's come into it is they did seem a bit wound up in those first two tests, and golf, basically.
Can I just ask on that? You mentioned before that, you know, they came over here and they blinked. You know, so I think a superficial read on it, because I'm not close to the team or following it, you know, at minuscule or in its minutiae, is that when Stokes did his performative defence after when Brisbane was gone, followed up by the weak men comment, that looked to be him turning his back on the freedom from consequence style of cricket that had come to define baseball. Is that a fair read? And that looked to me like the moment when McCullum looked to be going in one direction and Stokes was going in another direction. That's when baseball seemed to stop being sure of itself. Yeah,
there's no doubt a bit of gap opened up between the coach and his captain in terms of their messaging. And McCullum said, you know, to the press, we seem to go away a bit from what we... But it's because it's never been very well thought out. So they've now tried to modify the idea of baseball with brains, which is obviously not baseball. It's a oxymoronic, interesting, you know, metaphysical idea. But the idea that I also think Stokes kind of saw. It reminded me a little bit of Jose Mourinho when he knows he's done, and he starts turning on his players. And it's like, okay, what's happening here? Let's throw forward 3 months. Someone's going to have to eat this. Yeah. There's going to be blame. What's my legacy here? And I think he felt 5-0 coming, and it's like, well, I thought that was someone checking out of his own project a bit and saying, well, it wasn't his fault, was he? He got 83 off 180 balls, like the rest of them chucked it away. That's probably unfair, and maybe he was doing that unconsciously. Also, Stokes did grow up. You know, he's so steeped in the game. He understands about application, and I would understand him questioning this pare it all back, Liberty Hall thing when you're 3-0 down and you've got Ollie Pope playing in this ridiculous... Although, poor old Ollie Pope, I do feel sorry for him. I don't think there was a conscious... I think Stokes was just very angry and could feel that he was losing, and that was just how he responded.
Was it the right response? As in, like, is that the direction England should be going? Have they have they started to separate themselves, you know, from basketball? Because I noticed, you know, Crawley then batted, you know, quote unquote properly in Adelaide. A couple of the guys maybe know where their bread is buttered and go, okay, Stokes is more likely to be continuing on here than the other guy, so let's play like him. Is that a fair read?
Yeah, it's obviously the right. I mean, I think what they realised is, I mean, Zach Crawley seemed surprised that Scott Boland. He's talking about this, you know, midway through the series, that Scott Boland doesn't really give you any balls to hit. Like he's saying that as though that was information.
I heard Jimmy talking about that on Tail Enders as well, going like, no, he's been doing that for 10 years.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he was just filling time in a press conference. You know, people have to say something.
Yeah.
But it did seem like you should have been thinking about that 6 months ago and thinking, what do I do about it? Not, this is information. And the problem they have is there's just a massive lag of input. Like they're sloppy and slack, and you've got no details people everywhere. And it feels a bit like this. There's a sort of thing of outsourcing things to consultants and trying to wing it and doing things as cheaply as possible. And I feel that's kind of what they've done by hiring a broadcaster, Rob Key, who's very good at talking and very good at essentially punditing his own mistakes. He's really good at explaining what Rob Key has done wrong. And I really like him. I think he's a really bright guy. But you need to be ahead of your own mistakes rather than, and to actually come up with solutions to them. And he kind of gets away with it by being really good at describing what's happened to the team that he's in charge of. And we had a meeting with him where he did that earlier in the tour, and it was genuinely kind of jaw-dropping, really. Because I look at the Australian cricket machine, which is really well-resourced, has people doing things that... I mean, the sport's just bigger here. You know, there are more layers of management and administration, and people know how many millimetres of grass is on a pitch, and you know, it feels joined up and it feels like a summer sport. Whereas England essentially have turned up with some cool guys and tried to wing it, and it's trying to win in a way which feels really budget. And that's, I think, what is infuriating and has been infuriating to people here, because you pick that up. It's there in the comments. It's in there in the preparation. And there's always a reaction. So obviously now we'll get in a details guy. We'll get the most boring person you can find who's only interested in stats. But I do wonder if they could save money on sacking McCullum, which is going to cost £1 million, and just hire him someone who's going to give him some numbers and some details and say, look, I've booked a training. I've booked a bouncy pitch in Australia. You can train on it, and he can choose to ignore that if he wants. But it just seems it's infuriating to have all this, because they are talented players. But it's just not been. There's not enough there. The bar hasn't been high enough, and that feels deeply irritating.
I'm going to ask you about like the significance of this win, because obviously many, like the last 3 or 4 tours or whatever it's been, have come out here and haven't been able to win a game, right? So the significance really does feel quite poignant, because it felt like at the end of Adelaide that this structure was about to be broken up. You know, like the coach was untenable. Perhaps the captain might leave. You know, there'd be a change of players, structural level. But now England have won, you know, a shootout really. But they have won and they played well. But it almost feels like, yeah, but everything else that came before still counts. You know, like I felt this way in 2021 when whatever was going on during the COVID Ashes, that it was like, you know, we were told that it was void and it didn't count. The 2023 Ashes, you know, had it not rained in Manchester, England would have won. But it did rain, and also Australia did win those first. Like the things that happened before England started doing something good, it still counts. It still counts, you know. Like England have been woeful for 3 Test matches. Let's be right about that. And I think Australia have played really good cricket. So like that still counts, you know. And now they've won a game.
Yeah, arguably,
and now I'm now I'm scared that if it's another, because the SCG is the worst pitch in the country. If it's another shootout and England, you know, turn up and they play good cricket and they get 3-2, then it's like, see, had Perth not happened the way it did, England would have won. And it's like, no, but it still counts.
No, you see, I think that is going to happen. I think they will win in Sydney. I think that's the arc here, because it's too confusing, isn't it? I think you know, Mitch Starker's had to play every game, and because it's really missing half their team. Yeah, like, and England, like I suppose they're missing Atkinson now, but I think that might happen. And I agree, it means nothing. Like they've literally admitted to making some really, really big mistakes during their planning here. it must be very frustrating to see someone turn up and play that badly and yet feel they can sort of haul it back in the last 2 days and games and claim. I think probably it would be best for everyone if it was 4-1. It just would work, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We know what happened here then.
Well, I suppose I'm asking, even though they've won the game, they've done a thing that no other England team in recent times has done. So, will that actually save any structural change at a macro level in England?
I don't think so. I think somebody's. The problem is there's a T20 World Cup coming up, and there's the huge cost of getting rid of people who you've bizarrely given. Also, Key really aligns himself with McCullum, so I think you have to get rid of the pair of them if you're going to get rid of people. I don't know. It's really a test of the clique and a test of how real this thing is. I feel like there's a very small number of people involved in what is a very large, national sport, and you're basically going on the say-so of a couple of executives who. It feels a bit like the toss of a coin. I do feel that Australia could really, really. Why isn't Pat Cummins fit? Come back, Pat. Is he going to be fit? We really need. If Australia could just roll England over in Sydney, that would actually really help things. Because otherwise, it is genuinely confusing. I don't know what's happening. And there are quite a few people in England's team who I think are kind of due a game as well. I feel like Duckett's arc now is to score an 80-ball 100, and that's going to be a real problem. Brooke, he hasn't really done much, has he? But he's now going to be confident in his method. How are you going to cope with 3-2?
It's good for business. It's far better for business when Australia loses. Far more interesting.
Yeah.
It's not good talking about like Scott Boland's hitting a length over and over again. Like Bethel being a new little blonde thing that we can fantasize over. It looked good, didn't it? But he always looks good.
Yeah, I was doing a thing on Bethel. I looked back through, obviously, in the privacy of my own hotel room, I look back through all his old scorecards. But he's a really interesting. He did an interview with Ali Martin. Ali was telling me about this morning, where he talked about having imposter syndrome when he was younger, because he's always been the guy playing 4 age groups up or whatever, because he just looks so good. He's such a good fielder. He looks like a proper athlete, and not a lot of English cricketers do. If you look back, he's never actually scored heavily. It's really odd.
It's weird, isn't it?
He just looks really good.
Yeah. And I know guys like that. Yeah. What did we say about? We go, they just get out.
They just get out. Yeah.
He's someone who gets out.
But you just no, he's really good.
Yeah.
And you just keep picking him. So I was going back, when am I going to find a scorecard where he's not got 5 and some other guy I've never heard of gets 150? And I actually found a scorecard from 2017, I think 2018, where the Warwickshire player pathway played England women. And it's like the women's team now with Amy Jones in it, Catherine Brunt, Nat Siver, and it must have been a warm-up for something. They do that quite a bit. And I was like, okay, what happened here? Bethel in at 3. He's bowled for 5 by Catherine Brunt. And some other bloke got 140. The women won. It looked like a good game. But,
really?
Yeah. I would have loved. I want to go back to that day and actually watch that. But
you get one chance at time travel.
That's I would go back to that.
Kyrgios Sabalenka, but
Brunt did him that. So he just. I mean, the walking on drive. I was listening to Australian TV commentary there, and there were 3 or 4 generic men from that team who were just like, that's okay. We forgive everything.
Totally.
That's fine. Don't need to know about the hundreds, or the lack of hundreds, that shot. So he looks great. It's always talk about his shapes, isn't it? And his elbow and all that thing. I've noticed he does play down the wrong line a little bit. He seems to have a thing of doing that. I mean, I wonder if he is just an athlete who's good at cricket. I'm not sure.
You mentioned Ollie Pope before, because I was thinking about the India series, which must have been... When was England last in India? Was that 2 years ago?
Year and a half.
Year and a half ago, yeah. And the first test match was in Hyderabad. And England won the game by 20 or 30 runs or something like that. Tom Hartley took 7 for in the final innings. Ollie Pope hit 196 in the third innings. And that is genuinely one of the best innings I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was incredible.
It was incredible. I think, I can't remember what England made in that third innings, but I mean, it was his 196 was a high percentage of the team score. And that's a guy that he has that in the locker somewhere. There's just something else around basically every other innings where he couldn't quite string it together unless it was Zimbabwe. You know what I mean?
I think that innings is probably the worst thing that ever happened to him. He's the one who I'm interested in because, I mean, we talk about cult. Disavowing baseball is not disavowing that it's a cult. You know, if they move away from it, that's actually, if you read, your formal academic studies in the stages of a cult, that's a big part of how it ends. We're on the way towards what they call final showdown. But before that happens...
Like Waco.
Yeah. News crews at the gate, helicopters overhead.
Nice, yeah.
So what has to happen is people will disavow the cult. Traitors will be identified. There will be cracks. This has not happened yet. I'm sort of been waiting for this. But I think Pope, if he could speak freely, and he's got nothing to lose now, would be the most interesting person because he doesn't want to play like this. Yeah. Like, I reckon they have forced him to bat in a way that makes him feel deeply uncomfortable. The defining note of his entire Test career is awkwardness. It's like he's the guy who doesn't want to dance, being forced to dance. You know, it's just he cannot have enjoyed what he's done. He would average 10 runs more in Test cricket if he'd been in a situation where they'd said just bat however you want, defend, dig in, do whatever. Like, that is not him. And he's gone along with it, and he's been really biddable, and they've given him loads of rope because he's like a nice English boy who's been brought up to do what he's told. So he's done that. Right. But now they've sort of cut him off. They've even said he's the big selection mistake we made. Like, that's the one regret I have, Ollie Pope, which I think is really brutal. And they haven't named him, but it's pretty obvious that's what they're talking about. And so he's now the age of whatever he is, 29. He's outside. And I think there is a bit where he comes forward, whether it's now, and says, yeah, it was really bullying environment. I didn't feel happy doing that. I mean, this is obviously me fantasizing and getting very hot and excited when I'm saying it. But I would really like to have an honest chat with him where he actually says what he thinks, because that could be fascinating.
Barney, Australia went 3-0 up and retained the Ashes in 11 days.
Did they? I don't. Yeah, I don't really remember that happening.
To my question.
Video evidence of this.
Cast was good in Melbourne, wasn't he?
I don't know if you feel the same way. I note a distinct tenor of that the English perspective on Australia's team is that they're not very good, and I've got to say that's a tenor that has been probably reflected at home for a long time as well. Really, where we've always put it down to the idea that good now is just Steve Waugh's team, and that nothing will ever get there. I mean, this team has done a lot. They win a lot, but even the visitors here, and I don't mean to generalise, though I will, but like look at the team and go, we could have got at these. We've got some gilt-edged chances, and it feels like every team that plays Australia thinks that, and Australia just still emerges. What's your view on the team?
There is a problem, you're right, because anything that's not Shane Warne, Steve Waugh, it's, that's not invincible, so it's not very good. We find that very hard to judge. We've been hurt, we've been brutalised. Any kind of kindness now we kind of lean into, having been abused so badly in the past. But it's also people. There's been a lot of Australia are vulnerable. Look that, and that's been the take. So, but you have to understand. I think that's coming from an English media that has decided, okay, rip it all up, flame pro baseball. Let's just say this is useless. Sack people, burn them at the stake, and then you win a game. So, how do I cope with that? I have to therefore say winning this game just shows Australia aren't very good. So there's a lot of rationalising there when a lot of ex-pros who were really angered by the has-been comment have had to readjust on this and say, yeah, well done, you've won a game, but this just shows how doubly disappointing it is that you were so rubbish in the first few games. So there's a lot of overcompensation. Everyone's struggling to be right here. Everyone's struggling to not be the guy who gets picked on, who says the wrong thing. It's just kind of a divvying up of history that's happening. And so it must be deeply annoying if you're Mitchell Starc to be told that you're actually not that good, and the fact that you were always there for the taking. I think the bowling attack is genuinely all time, isn't it? I mean, look at the figures; it's properly good.
Yeah. Well, 3 of them aren't really there, and Australia's still done it.
Yeah. Imagine if Hazelwood was playing, and the fact that Cummins can come in for that one game with no prep and just be that. I mean, he's an outlier, isn't he? He's ridiculous. He's literally one of the best cricketers I've ever seen.
I think he would play if the series was on the line. I think he's probably got an eye on the T20 World Cup as well, and
Yeah.
But with the batting, you know, I mean, Australia's batting is flaky. I just feel like Australia's batting's been flaky again since Ricky Ponting was playing.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, and they now play on these wickets that really do favour bowling, which tends to create more interesting Test cricket unless it's overdone. But I'm also hearing, maybe I'm just building a straw man here, but you know, Australia's only got 2 or 3 bats, and everyone else sucks. And I sort of take the view that that's the same with most teams. You know, like very few teams have 6 guys that are performing at any one time.
Yeah, I mean, we did get ruined during that period where there was nothing to do except be really good at Test cricket. Where people just kind of, you know, burnt themselves with hot needles trying to get in the team because there was no other career path. And that was it, you know.
Yeah.
And there probably won't be another Ricky Ponting. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there won't. Maybe it's just there are too many distractions.
Well, I wonder if after this test we're actually gonna see another batting generation just for commercial purposes. You know, I mean, Cricket Australia is now talking about having a pitch czar. Maybe India was right all along, you know, that you need to actually control it from the inside so that you can ensure 4 to 5 day games and all of the money that doth flow.
I don't think that's such a weird idea. Like, you are providing this entertainment product so that people can go along in a pair of chinos and spend £100 on a bottle of wine. I mean, that's what happens.
No, we don't get bottles of wine here. I was going to say a quarter strength beer, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm responding to the fact the press areas here do tend to be near the posh seats.
True.
Yeah, so there are lots of
right.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I got refused entry to the Adelaide Oval because I was wearing a T-shirt and not a collared shirt. And
how did that feel?
Wasn't having it. I felt emasculated. I felt small. I felt infuriated. Yeah. Some part of me wanted to say, look at all these people in shorts. Don't you know who I am? I'm English, or something like that. But I knew that I could have
an Englishman being castigated for lacking sophistication,
lacking class. Yeah, I could have so easily become the story, and I could feel that almost happening to me. But I let it go.
What did you do? Did you just go and? You might have bought some Barmy Army merchandise or something.
Yeah, I almost did buy a replica shirt, but in the end, it was smoothed over. I think they felt a diplomatic incident happening, and it was kind of smoothed over. But no, I kind of respect that. But that is the point of the game here, isn't it? There's no other sport where people wouldn't think, how do we make the surface we use and the ball and the better to make this a better spectacle? I don't think it's so weird, but I also think it's quite good that that's seen as somehow betraying the soul and the difficulty and the hardness of the game, which I guess it is. But if you keep telling people the way you're going to make money in this thing is to just work out how to do range hitting from the age of 11, then this is what's going to happen. Like, structurally, we have told these people that's what we want you to do because that's where the money comes from. England prepared for this with the white ball games in New Zealand. That's what everyone does. They literally don't play red ball cricket. So, of course, they can't do this. It's not because they're decadent, weak, spoiled. They may well be all these things as well. But that's not what it is. They just literally can't do it anymore.
And so the way they batted, both teams, was a result of macroeconomic factors.
Macroeconomic forces, cultural history. I actually think Australia. I think Australia did get a bit spooked by the way England play. I do a bit. I know that's like a
they do.
Sneaky thing to say, but I don't think they.
You mean in generally?
In that game.
Oh, in this game, right?
Yeah, I don't think they had to bat like that or wanted to bat like that. I think Australia do have players who could guts it out a bit better than that. The dismissals were not really bad pitch dismissals. They were spooked by a bad pitch dismissals. What was Cameron Green doing? That was really weird.
Australia played really poorly on the second day, which, as we were saying, was 50% of the Test match. But I think that's I think that's kind of the point with T20 cricket and where all this is going, is it is going to be increasingly harder to succeed in climes that are foreign to yours, right? Because you have a lack of preparation to go and achieve a thing and be better at that thing against someone that's grown up there in those environments. So, like, when I think about the next Ashes in 18 months' time, I think it's going to be extremely exciting for cricket fans in the UK, because England should most definitely win that series, and I think it's not reaching the pinnacle, but it probably is quite a good achievement for Australia to have held on to the Ashes for 10 years. Is that right? Something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, for cricket fans in England, like, you get through this summer and the next big summer at home is the Ashes, and that's going to be a win, you'd think.
Yeah, I've heard you saying this quite a lot. Like, I mean, Australia come very close to winning every time. I know every time they come.
It's more of a contest, sure, yeah. But I mean, do you not think that England will have more likely to win at home next
Maybe.
time?
I don't really know who the English style bowlers are who they have. Wokes, Broad and Anderson have all gone. Josh Tongue is a thing. I don't know what he is exactly. I mean, he's 28. And
when he's hot though.
Yeah. He's a nice boy though. And he's also,
everyone's nice.
Yeah, he's a nice boy.
Who are the cunts, Barney?
I don't know. I mean, there clearly are some, but
the Australians, yeah. Alex Carey.
Yeah, well, we know about Alex.
Well, we know about Alex, don't we? Yeah,
Alex Carey, I couldn't work out what he's got this kind of light, hasn't he? He's got a kind of glow.
Yeah.
We had a press conference with him, and I couldn't work out if he was being sarcastic or not. Like, are you really like this?
Yeah.
And then I realised halfway through that he's just really nice.
He's just really nice.
And
That's
really
all it is,
confident in himself.
Yeah.
And just really happy. And probably he just feels good all the time because he's in physically incredible condition.
Yeah.
He glows. His eyes
you
are...
can't figure out what this is.
Yeah, I've never really
doing a
seen
bit? Is he-
a human who's like this. It's like you're meeting kind of the Christ or something. He has a light around him. And so I just assumed it was piss-taking or he was being sarcastic.
Yeah.
Or,
This guy's taking a piss.
no one can be that nice.
Yeah.
But he actually is just really nice because why would you not be? His life is just really good.
It's
and
good.
He's having an amazing time.
He missed out on an AFL career, which was his first choice.
Okay, so he's got scars. He didn't seem to have any scars, but maybe he's got scars.
Oh, he would have some deep scars.
Okay,
not,
that's
not
good.
being able to play football.
Okay, well, I pity him and feel sorry for him.
Yes.
And obviously this will come out at some point.
Yes.
In his Stuart McGill style meltdown later in life.
He was kidnapped.
If Carey goes on a Stuart McGill arc, that is a
Hall of Fame.
I'm following the shit out of that.
Yeah.
I'll pick him up.
Yeah. yeah.
No, he just seems like a completely cloudless man.
Yeah. He's a wonderful guy. Yeah. So it seems. Who do you think is more likely to defeat the other away from home?
I think, does this depend? If England suddenly just come out rampant, if England win in a really annoying way in Sydney, what's the most annoying way? It would be chasing a big score, wouldn't it? And probably declaring in the first, really annoying stuff happens. Then would that have a devastating effect on this Australian team? Is that going to be useful for Australia coming to England?
I think it would build fever in the UK, if I could speak on behalf of England. I think that would build interest because then it would be like, see, we were actually really close to winning away from home, therefore we should win in England. But I mean, the team is going to be, the Australian team will be very different in 18 months' time, you would think. I mean, at the moment, the team is a bit all over the place. Like Khawaja was dropped, then Smith got vertigo, then he's back in, and Green's now at 7, and the bowling attack, they can't stay in the park. I mean, they're all 80 years old, so... And anyone that then comes back in to replace one of the cartel has got no experience because if Hazelwood's fit, you have to pick Josh Hazelwood, right? So they're in a bit of the team is obviously a really good team, but it's a bit muddled at the moment, I suppose.
They're old. The team is old. There are big macro factors that are showing over the last couple of years that they will get injured if they play.
Well, that's it. Wouldn't defeat in Sydney lead to a clear-out?
Well, there should be some kind of clear out, really. But
imagine the most annoying
defeat
defeat ever. Like Harry Brook is 83 of 44 balls walking across his stumps.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff at the end.
Yeah.
Army. Massively infuriating defeat. Would that actually be a useful structural thing for Australia?
It's a good question.
I think there's a really interesting watch on Australian cricket now because the big charge against this team is that they themselves are quite insular. They've defined themselves in their opposition to the generations that have gone before them or to their predecessors. And we've spoken to some of the guys, and there's every indication that they'd all like to continue playing, and they all probably feel a real custodianship to their position inside. They're very close with each other, and and with the selectors, and that's been part of their brand. We're adults in the room. We can all relate to each other. There isn't this kind of distance, and no one's knifing each other in the back. Like they did in times gone by. But now they're old and they're getting injured. Somebody's going to need to say, "Hey guys, it's in Australian cricket's best interest that you move on." Even though when they're fit, they're good.
Who's the lightning rod? Is it Cam Green? Is there a is he too meek?
No. Green's 26.
He's part of the next team.
He has to play. Yeah,
but he's both physically imposing, but also strangely kind of like a kitten, isn't he? I thought that might annoy people.
We've been talking about Green for a long time and suggesting that he needs to acquire the services of a madam. And some and leather back grip,
perhaps like a Stifler's mum style situation.
Yeah,
you know,
he's like a COVID adolescent, isn't he? He's someone I feel he spent a lot of time in a room and needs to come out of the room.
Even though he's 26, I feel like he hasn't grown into his body yet. You know,
he's like to lose the puppy fat.
Yeah, he's one of the big kids.
Yeah. When's that going to happen then? When's he going to acquire a kind of grizzly, sandpapery sheen?
He needs a controversy. He needs something.
McGill-esque.
I do still.
He needs to meet Stuart McGill.
Yeah, he needs scars. I mean, he doesn't seem to have scars.
Yeah, he needs to acquire a scar.
I do still find him the most. I think he'd be the most terrifying bowler to face for someone like me because I think he would. But
I would like to see that.
He would kill me without meaning to.
Yeah,
whereas
he'd apologise.
Yeah, I feel like Mitchell Starc would either break my foot or hit me in the head, and he'd kind of mean it, even though he's a nice guy. But whereas Green would do it without really knowing and then say sorry.
I think he struggles, Green, from like he's genuinely like lauded by his like elder teammates. Like they all look at him and go like, "You are a freak, and you're going to be a freak." And
Anointed.
We can't believe how good a cricketer you are and what your ceiling is, and he's cosseted by them. And it's an unusual thing in Australian cricket. Most of the time, older guys are like, I won't respect you until you have 15,000 test runs, which obviously no one's ever achieved. So you take my point.
But he's got the same numbers as Stokes, hasn't he? But that's why stats often don't tell the story.
That's even better, right? I mean, there's a disconnect from Australia's expectations of all-rounders and then what people actually do. Like, he's playing badly. He should be dropped in the Australian public's eyes, and his numbers are the same as Ben Stokes and Ian Botham.
But it's just I don't feel he's really. It's moments, isn't it? A game of moments. And I just don't
he hasn't won a game for Australia.
Yeah, winning a game seems like the thing. It makes you realise how good Jack Callis was, doesn't it? I mean, and also he was frustrating, Callis. He was kind of boring. He'd bat in a really boring, dull way sometimes that would break you over a day. And he seemed to have that kind of just a meanness about him, which Cam Green just seems quite. He's a pleaser, isn't he? He feels like a pleaser.
Wonder if he needs it to be his team to feel. Like to break out from, I don't know. It's clearly psychological, because it's the same with Marnus. If it was to a lesser degree, actually, they're completely different things. But
but he's lacking dog. He's lacking a dog.
Cam Green was batting in the Shield. He'd be the best player. Same with when Marnus went back to the Shield. He was the best player in the Shield, right? So there's obviously a huge jump. But there's something like there's a fucking. You just want to grab him and shake him and go, just fucking bat like you can.
I'd like to see that happen.
Barney. Thanks for the deconstruction of the anatomy of this series so far.
That's all there is on this, isn't there? We're just deconstructing upon deconstructing.
Yes.
I kind of feel like I've got close to deconstructing, but there's so much more to say, isn't there? There are so many things, so many fears and anxieties and points of tension but it still feels like a kind of amorphous mess of a series where I don't know what's happened.
Because it's hardly got off the ground, 13 days, 4 test matches.
Is that part of the, like, is this the death of Test cricket stuff? I mean, is it the macroeconomic factors that are, matches are shorter, guys can't defend, Australia's half injured.
Next series is in Riyadh.
England removing themselves from anxiety. Now they're stuck in the middle. Are we just going to end up saying this was a shit series?
Probably, but I've tried so hard not to be that guy. I've tried so hard not to say, I just really hate T20 cricket. It's really boring. It's ruining the good thing. I know that's not cool, and there's a whole kind of...
But that's the point.
There's a kind of slightly hip side of journalism that knows that, but doesn't want to say it because then you're the old guy, you're the boomer, And so I've really resisted saying it. I've really tried to appreciate the data and the analysis and the skill that goes into T20 cricket. And the fact lots of people love it, that must be good. They seem excited by it. They're standing up shouting at people hitting sixes. And that must be good because they like it. But I feel like I'm being forced into that chair. I'm being forced into the Larry David. I don't want to be Larry David, but I look in the mirror mid-game and there's a bald, angry man in glasses who's incredibly grouchy about things because that was a good thing, Test cricket. It just was a good thing. It had endless depths and endless gears, and I feel it could have been sold to people. It could have been made to work, but it is now being completely gutted and unmanned and destroyed. Sorry, unwomaned, unpersoned, debrained is what I mean. By the structural forces of saying, well, actually, we can earn a bit more money here. This is how we analyse cost benefits. It's how many people are watching it, not whether they actually like it, but whether they can watch it on a 6-inch screen for 4 minutes, which means we get advertising revenue. It's even a bad way of analysing whether this thing is a good product or not. But that's the way it works. I went to a conference when I was where was I? I was at some kind of tournament or a World Cup or something, which was the next generation of sport influencers, and the whole thing was people from massive technology companies talking about how you cram cricket onto a 6-inch screen and how you make that work. And they were saying that like it was the best thing in the world. We found a way of doing it. And these people seem like they're aliens, like they are talking about this thing like it is just moving blobs, it's pixels, and any money you can wring out of that in the next 6 months is a massive triumph, and that's all there is. And if it then dies as a result, you move on to something else. It's literally like locust capitalism. And these people are genuinely the people who are in charge of what happens. And they're saying the thing that you imagine they might say in secret out loud in a conference and being applauded. This is who decides the schedule. And this is who decides what happens to the thing you love and see as a piece of art and a piece of poetry and the thing you dream about and you remember, and which gives you all these vivid pictures and which you want to preserve. I'm afraid that is why we're having 2-day test matches, because those 6-inch screen guys who've been hired from Pepsi are actually in charge of what happens. And it's very sad that that's happened. And there is no other voice in the room where decisions are made. And so that's what's happening. And so I am going to become that guy who says that it's shit and that it would be much better if that wasn't happening. And we had a 5-day test match where someone won at the end and we counted down the runs and we had more to talk about than simply whether Bazball is a real thing or not. I'm sorry, I've just gone on a massive rant when the show is.
Sure, it wasn't just
over.
Pagey leaving 3 mil on the grass.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the 3 mil. It's good, and the conspiracy theories around who's paying Pagey are good. He's called Matt Page, isn't he? Which means unresponsive surface. What does that mean? I've said this on another podcast already, but you what does that mean? How do we interpret that?
Yeah.
Do you want a Matt page? But he literally gave us a gloss page, didn't he? He gave us a glossy kind of light reflecting. I don't know what it means, but it means something.
He's a plant from the IPL.
He's an Ambani psyop.
Yeah, I hear that he was literally headhunted as a kind of a flair groundsman, the greatest. I mean, honestly, it's just gardening. They just couldn't bat well. That's all it is. Leave the poor guy alone.
Barney Ronay, thanks so much. Great to do it in the flesh, and I'm sorry if it's been uncomfortable that screens have been removed and we have.
No, it's fine. I've relaxed into it now and I feel a lot more happy. I'm now not going to leave.
Thank you very much to Barney for joining us. Great to have Barney. The first time we ever chatted was at the Oval?
Oval.
We never spoke to him on the phone before then? We'd never spoken to Barney on the phone before the Oval? Was the Oval the first?
On Zoom?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd spoken to him a fair few times.
Oh, okay. And then we met in real life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My mistake.
That's all right.
Anyway, thanks to Barney for coming in. Hey, Brett Lee was inducted into the Australian Cricket Hall of Fame. Here are his numbers, Pezza. He played 76 test matches. He took 310 wickets at 30. ODIs, 221 matches, 380 poles, averaging 23. Played 25 T20Is as well, averaging 28 poles there. And with the bat, test match cricket, top score of 64, 5 50s, averaged 20 with the bat. I thought it might have been a little bit more for Binger in test match cricket. Anyway, unbelievable cricketer, lovely man, broadcaster, extraordinaire. And the highlights that we get reeled out are just childhood stuff, just scaring blokes, on flat, fast decks because they had a new little blonde thing in the side. And it was just electric.
I think that's the thing to understand about Brett Lee is like the moment that he came along in Australian cricket, where Australian cricket was at the time, what he represented. Like it was, he was like a space race cricketer. Like Australian cricket had become, from 95 where they had knocked over the Windies away from home, Steve Waugh, Grimace, Kirtley. Now it's Australia's, Australia's century or whatever. And there'd been so much domination and you know, we'd already come through the era of playing 2 teams in the ODI series and all that kind of thing. Like Lee then became the next like frontier of like, look at what pace can be. And because we'd been frothing over Warren and obviously continue to do that and we still do that.
And the stories associated.
The stories, they're in. We were really in an era, to my mind, like what was missing in Australian cricket at the time, because we had a spinner that was basically Mozart and the greatest to ever play the game.
Yep.
We had twins that were batters from New South Wales and some other guys scoring, you know, like unprecedented numbers of runs in this prolific fashion.
Yeah.
And they were getting bored, so the coach came in and he was just doing like boot camp exercises with them and stuff. And they started sledging like in a different way, call it disintegration. Yeah. The quick that we had that was a world in McGrath was an accurate. It was quick. So what was missing was just scaring the fuck out of somebody, bringing a young blonde thing in who, as far as I understand, is a Hall of Famer in the sheds.
Yeah,
if you
racehorse stuff.
If you catch my drift. Yes. So that's what Brett Lee represented at the time. Right. It was very exciting. And you know, so for an Australian public, it was like, oh, what is this? You know what I mean? Yeah. What is this?
Because they won,
and it's the brother of Shane who was also exciting.
He was already in. That's right. So when they won like 13, they win 13 Test matches in a row twice.
Oh,
or was it more than that? Is it 17?
No, 16, I think
16,
was the number.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever it was heaps. And then they were like, you know, it's better
that meant nothing to me as a kid.
Having blokes shit themselves when they play.
Yeah.
Like, let's
it was like a missing piece. Right? In
more ways than one.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a piece. There was a
missing.
piece missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that and Brett Lee filled that.
Yeah. But we also had like, because Gilchrist was a walker, so it was like, see, we are the good guys. You know, because of that one thing.
Yeah.
Some of the other stuff probably a bit less good.
Yeah. So like that was, you know, Binger didn't put up like insane numbers, particularly when it came to averages, right? You know, he sprayed them around a little bit, but it wasn't really his job, you know. And having someone who was just like, I want to hurt and maim and break the speed and sound barrier. Was really like, it really filled out just the sense of Australian cricket as a dominant, hostile juggernaut.
Yep.
And he was hot. So he belongs in the Hall of Fame as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
and the highlight reels are a joke.
They're a joke.
Yeah.
Hitting the stumps, like speed gun, fucking blokes backing away. It's all too much. And like with the space race with Shoaib Akhtar, you know, it was always like toe to toe. 2 blokes at bowling 160 at the same time. It was amazing.
Yeah. And it wasn't like, you know, I like Brett Lee's commentary, particularly when he's doing like biomechanical matters when it comes to fast bowling and stuff like that. But we were still in an era where results weren't so important that everything was just boiled down to what's most efficient. You know, like he wanted to do stuff that wasn't necessarily conducive to winning all the time, which was just bowl fucking rapid.
Yeah.
And that speaks to Australians at a demonically deep level.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So he spoke to us, Brett Lee. Like once he, you know, it's like when you fall in love, you know, you didn't realize you needed this thing until, I'm not referring to people that fall in love as a thing, but like, I didn't realize I needed it until it came along in my life. And then when like Brett Lee came along in our cricketing lives, like, yeah, Australian cricket has needed this and deserves it.
That's right.
Because we see ourselves as the fast, hostile aggressors. It's not for other countries to produce fast bowlers, only us. Exceptionalism. That was Binger. The flowing blonde hair. Can you imagine it in the tubs too?
And he was hot. Temba Bavuma wrote a piece for ESPN Cricinfo, which was headlined this: what happens on the field stays on the field, but you don't forget what is said. Now, it's been reported that Bavuma was referred to as Borna, I think that's how you say it, which translates from Hindi to English as dwarf. Here's what that article said. I know from my side there was an incident where they said something in their language about me. At the end of day 2, senior players Rishabh Pant and Jasprit Bumrah came and apologised. When the apology was made, I was in the dark about what it was about. I hadn't heard it at the time, and I needed to check in with our media manager about it. What happens on the field stays on the field, but you don't forget what is said. You use it as fuel and motivation. But there are no grudges per se. So that's what happened in that series.
How did it make it out from the field if what happens on there stays on there? Was that clear? Sorry, I'm not asking rhetorically. I'm asking you in real time, non-prepared.
I mean, Bavuma hasn't he didn't say what was said in other outlets. Has been reported what it said. It's also all over social media as well. So, so Bavuma's just done one of the all-time great jobs captaining the side. His record captaining for South Africa is unbelievable. I mean, I think it's fair to say that given that they literally are the World Test champions, that criticism they didn't deserve to be there at the World Test Championship final. Proven completely incorrect by winning 2-0 away in India.
I'd hope it's fair to say.
Yeah.
If they literally win the World Test Championship, I don't think it's fair that they're there.
well, I have heard that hypothesized.
Well, I've heard teams say they don't care about it. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Anyway, that's what's going on.
But he wrote an article, did you say? Was that
Cricinfo,
okay?
Yeah.
But that was the main, or was it just a short article, or that was the main pullout?
That was the main pullout. He was talking about the experience of playing in India and winning that series, etc. I mean, it's an incredible achievement. Obviously,
well, everyone can do it.
Everyone's got it these days. Yeah. Got to play a short series though.
Even the skeletons,
3 tests for New Zealand, 2 tests for South Africa.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Get them early on the tips before they've got a chance to correct it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, what do we have against them? 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Winning 3 over there.
Marnus might get his little, that little toy pitch out that he had a few years ago. Remember that? And he was playing with his friends.
Yeah. Can we claim some of the Kiwis in it, like an Anzac side,
Yeah. Who would you have from the Kiwis?
Oh, none.
Yeah. They've won over there, but...
Name one player.
Yeah, that's right. It's like Wisdom.
Martin Crowe?
Yeah.
We've got Vittori in the side. He's in the sheds throwing balls.
I wouldn't mind hearing from Vittori. Vittori. There's fucking, these Australian coaches, they've done this very successful job of not taking a curtain call for the team's success. I don't understand it. Most cricket coaches I see are very much front and centre of what goes on, past, present, etc. But McDonald and Vittori don't seem to want to have it known that they are part of the architecture of the success of the team. I don't trust it for a second. No. The only PR I've seen about Andrew McDonald was him making 60 red with his son in Geelong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he obviously made sure that was out there. You know what I mean? But the rest of it, I think it's un-Australian.
Yeah.
He's the fact that they don't take a curtain call. And Vittori, disgrace.
How much in the system do you need to be to get picked? Could I get picked? I'm not registered with a club.
To get picked for who?
Australia.
How much do you need to be in the system?
Yeah, as in I'm not in the, because I don't play for a club.
Right.
So I'm not in the system.
Okay.
But can I play? Can Andrew McDonald play?
I think there's at least one Australian player that doesn't have a club at the moment.
Yeah, that's true. But he's got a contract. So I'm not contracted either. You don't know that about me.
Could you be contracted without having a club? Is that what you're saying?
Can I get a game?
Yeah.
Can I play in the SCG test?
Yeah. So basically, if Andrew, I see what you're saying now. So if Bales calls you and says, we just heard the fielding's really good.
Yeah.
Right. Which we have heard before. But and we like what you're offering.
Yeah. Tubbs was?
Well, I like what you're offering all round.
Okay.
So there's a spot in the middle order for you. Yeah. Greeny's struggling, etc. So we want to get you. We want to fly you up.
Nuggets batting 3.
Now, would part of that be calls would go around and someone has to go this guy doesn't have a play cricket account.
He's not registered. In the system.
Yeah. Or you line up in the anthems and start playing, and then the. Yeah, well, it is that fantastic.
It's my role.
Yeah, you got a key out and you're doing a massive fucking slug. And
who's batting 6?
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
And then then word gets them out around the UK journals. They're like, man, this guy's not on play cricket. This guy's unregistered.
He's unregistered.
Yeah.
Yep.
Would that be a problem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I understand. Well, someone in Cricket Australia let us know. We know you send people to our live shows, so
yeah. And now that I've learnt that George Bailey doesn't like conflict, I can just ask him for a game, and he'll say yes. Otherwise, I'll kick up a stink.
That's what we all have to do.
Yeah, just ask.
So this is the new thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
The old guys are hanging on because George Bailey fundamentally avoids conflict wherever he goes.
Cannot get through an intersection. Always giving way. The BBL, Pezzo. The BBL is it's all about the Melbourne Stars. It's all about the Melbourne Stars. They're 4 from 4.
They're a watch.
They've had wins over the Hurricanes, the Strikers, the Sixers, and the Thunder. That's purple. That's teal. That's pink. That's green. Sam Harper made a 60 ball, 110 red against the Sixers the other night. Harris Ralph, Tom Curran, Peter Siddle in the wicket. Sids has got the blonde salad back, peroxide blonde.
I see he got clocked at 140. He got clocked at 140 the other day. Jai Richardson should talk to him.
Well, exactly, yeah. That's amazing. Glenn Maxwell hit 104 metre 6 last night out of the stadium.
That was good.
Stoinis is giving it to Hussey on the microphone when he's talking about new acquisitions. Stoinis also dropping a catch and then telling Jamie Overton to stop running.
Stop.
Fuck off. So, is it the year for the Stars, is the question.
Well, the examples you use there are good because like Stars have to bobsled Jamaican, like they have to be chaotic and vibrant and celebrity based, like there has to be a bit happening around them, what I don't want is a Moneyball Stars, that's against the DNA of the thing. So early signs are good.
Are we we're still in the drought breaking year, like drought breaking for sports, like winning stuff year? Is the official name.
As it were, like
Spurs, RCB.
I see.
Who else has won stuff this year? Who won the World Series? Someone random? No, that was just the Dodgers, wasn't it? This year there's been like a whole bunch of teams that haven't won stuff for ages. And is this still count? I suppose the season starts in 2025. So South Africa.
Oh yeah. One thing I know is that in T20 tournaments in particular, when you're 4-0, you're basically a lock to win.
That's right.
That's
the good times will keep on coming.
Dust it off now. Let's put the champagne on ice.
Tim David's got a
Sam
string.
Harper's 100. Did you catch any of that? Sam Harper's hit a fucking incredible 100. Against the Sixers, I think.
It was Sixers. Yeah,
Sixers. Yeah, It looked incredible.
Yeah.
I just wanted to show that I watched it once.
Yeah. Well, Tim David's got a string, right? So he's playing for the purple.
Yeah.
Injured on Boxing Day, taken off for a single. That's a watch for the World Cup.
We can't be having that
because now he's done something in Australia. Now Australia rates him.
No, we can't be having that. He must play.
Now people will think I don't care about the T20 World Cup. You will when it's on. In the semi-final. That's when
Cummins and Hazelwood firming for the T20 World Cup too. So Cartel mainly available for T20 cricket. That's a watch.
They're a disgrace.
That's a watch.
They're a fucking disgrace.
Like again, I think Bailey. I think they just said they wanted to play, and Bale said okay.
AskTGC is brought to you by Smith Optics Australia. SmithOpticsAustralia.com.au. Use the code FAST at checkout. You get 25% off your order. And let me tell you, tis the season, festive season. How many Smith Optics were unwrapped on Christmas morning?
Yeah, many.
And you're thinking, greatest present of all time.
Yep.
Because these have permeated not just the cricket scene, but just society generally speaking.
Yep.
These are fucking everywhere.
Yep.
And there's a reason. They are the hottest. They're the hottest item going right now. Smith Optics. The range is unbelievable. There's the ultralights. Those are your retro ski goggles vibe. You got your Wildcats and your Bobcats. Those are your versatiles, your hybrid designs with protection and coverage of goggles. You got your Verts. That's a rimless design, low profile fit, a Smith bestseller.
Oh,
and what about
the headies?
What about the headies? Yeah. What about the headies?
My oldest Ted went out to the cricket on day 2 and wore the headies.
Did he?
Yeah, and he's it's just energy. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's all. How did Ted enjoy the day out? Can we talk about that?
He loved it. Yeah, no, we can talk about it.
First test match?
It was his very first experience of test match cricket.
That's awesome.
My dad, so his grandfather was out for it, so looked after him because of a few work obligations. I spent a bit of time there. Shout out to the guy sitting behind us actually, who who actually continued to offer me cream cheese and salmon as a joke. It was all in good taste. He had a great time, and he's very lucky. You saw him actually because we took him up to the press box, and everybody was very, very kind to him.
Yep.
He met JL as well. He was like, "Hi, I'm Justin."
Same.
Got a good handshake. Yep. No. Yeah, I was introducing. It was like Ted, then Dad, then Dad's wife Michelle, and then I said, "And this is my eldest son Gary," to you.
Yeah, and then I peeled at his face.
Yeah, and then I walked away, and Ted said, "Who's that?"
Yeah.
But anyway, that was nice. Everyone was very kind, and he wore the headies the entire way through. So
Now, what about the legends getting in touch? You know, like I think some ties have been reformed with with the greats of the game and the current team. But what about like getting some of the big boppers of international cricket history? You know, like I'm thinking of your JLs, I'm thinking of your punters, I'm thinking your Dossers, I'm thinking your Gillies, I'm thinking Isha, I'm thinking Kerry. What about Skull and a pair of these? You know what I mean?
I think I've seen him in some. If he wasn't in Smiths, he was in cheap knockoffs.
Yeah.
Someone needs to have. I mean, Skull only rolls around in the greatest of style. So if somebody has managed to get something other than Smiths on him, that's
We've got to get a pair of these in the juniors. I think juniors bonds.
Oh yeah. Well, that was one with. I mean, I knew that there was something awry at this test actually because the moment we walked into the MCG and went upstairs to our spot, I happened to meet you, which happened to be outside the men's bathrooms.
Yeah.
And obviously now every single test match we have to give some story of our interactions with June, unbeknownst to him and probably unethically. But it's not because I think the cult is just growing. But I think like there was a procession of people who like it was maybe there's a few producers. We know, oh hey, how you going? And then June was last, and what did he say? He just goes, "You blokes hanging around the toilets again together, are you?" Just smashes us every time.
It was like 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I was like, oh God, like, he's done it again.
Exactly.
He's done it again.
Around the toilets together, you boys.
He got us. He got us.
That's nice.
Writing your AskTGC to hello@gradecricketer.com. Keep them short and sharp. And you know what? Now's a great time of year to get them in whilst people are away from the office there. Jim wrote in. He said, fellow dads. I'm not a dad, but appreciate it. My 2-year-old son has me trapped on repeat watching the Bluey cricket episode. The more I watch, the more I see Rusty grinding despite having a weakness against short bowling. Lucky's dad bowling like a suburban alpha, another dad smashing a 6 first ball, then walking away smug, and Bluey just opting for Tiggy instead. It got me thinking, who's the real alpha here? The adults flexing? Rusty grinding, or Bluey silently owning the game by walking away? Cheers, Jim.
I think that's a fantastic read. I mean, firstly, the Bluey cricket episode is Australian TV canon by now. It's one of the greatest things ever put together.
I remember we watched it for a TGCRaw episode in Manchester. I've not seen it before.
And that was on the back of one of the biggest nights of all time, I believe.
Yeah, I was about to play for Australia. Yeah. What
were your impressions?
It was fucking awesome. Yeah,
it's so good.
I don't think I'd ever seen Bluey before. Like I knew what it was, but I had no reason to watch it.
Yep. I like that Bluey's at a level where people are like, providing like a literary interpretation as well. Yeah. And this is good. Like I wouldn't put it past the writers of Bluey to like. For the subtle story to be that Bluey actually walks away from this stupid game where you have 1,000 journos interviewing a gardener. I mean, he's more than a gardener; he's a curator, obviously.
He's a father.
He's manicuring the most important setting and and gallery in Australian culture. So, people who are sledging that name can get fucked. But Bluey walking away from the game, I like it. Yeah, I do. I do like that read. I mean, the episode is so good. Rusty, when Rusty walks away from the game that they're playing, and then it transitions to Rusty walking back onto what looks like the Gabba, and they've got the seats right and stuff with the helmet, Aussie helmet on, brick wall tears, same time.
How long does it go?
7-minute shows.
7-minute shows. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So to win Tropfest.
Chopfest. That was Noosa.
I would. That is something that would be said at grade cricket, like in 2006. If some bohemian guy that had been at uni for a year is just like, I'm going to Tropfest, and so like, Tropfest, yeah, fuck.
Isn't it the case that the ABC created it, but they didn't acquire the international distribution rights?
I don't know X's and O's, but I think BBC
snapped it up.
The dad of it now.
Yeah, it's worth like billions of dollars.
Yeah, I think that was a lot of the responses to the Bluey Peppa Pig thing.
Right.
Yeah, it was like, we're BBC, we own it. So, but yeah.
Yeah. Stick that in the old museum there. Tommy wrote in, boys, While listening to the third second to last entry to the Speak Pipe last pod, hearing this quote claiming, quote, asterisk after asterisk, me pig ears pricked at the sound of an unmistakably familiar Nottinghamshire accent. Not quite northern, not quite posh, but just permanently sounds like he's halfway through a pint in a story from 2011. Are we calling this a coincidence? Does this same bloke from Notts has accidentally achieved a more convincing Graham Swan than Graham Swan? Is there a chance Swanee could be a pay pig? Swanee, if you're listening, blink twice via the pig pen. Chat to confirm. Cheers, Tommy.
Nice to run into Swanee.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've had him as a guest in London.
That's right.
That was a special night, 2023, and shared our hellos and stuff. Like from the exchange, I wouldn't be like concluding that, like just given the conviviality, politeness, small talk nature of the exchange, I didn't get any impression that Graham Swan is an active member of the pig pen, the TGC pig pen.
Yeah.
Personal view, or he's hiding it. He's hiding it very well.
Here's my takeaway from that. I missed the handshake.
Yeah, he said that.
We were changing over stints in Triple M, and I just missed it.
So who got what? Did he get your fingers, or did you get his fingers?
It was like into the nook. I grabbed to it was kind of the side of the hand.
Mm.
It was his knee. I grabbed his knee.
You grabbed his knee, aiming for his hand. I mean, some of they're just horrifying,
Get
aren't
your
they?
hands off my penis.
I would have made it onto some of those Triple M clips we put out there. I mean, that reminds me, yeah, like some of these fuck ups with actual icons do haunt you. Like I'm still haunted from when we were doing the ABC last year at the SCG, and we finished our last stint and walked past the great Rick Finlay, and just saying goodbye to everyone. I think we'd said bye to like Harsha. Let's say we said bye to former Prime Minister John Howard. Said goodbye to Jim Maxwell, and everyone was like, "Bye, Sam. Bye, Sam. Bye, Sam." Thanks, Rick. Thanks, Steve. Got done by Rick Finlay.
That's why he's the GOAT.
Well, he's a man who deals in accuracy and details.
More of a numbers guy,
Yeah.
not names.
Yeah, that was a good time.
I hope that's not too insidery. Is that too insidery?
The Rick or Swanee thing?
No, just people talking.
Oh, let us know. I mean, if it's off, if it's like, okay, boys. I mean, Junior. I don't know. I don't feel like people want to know that Junior said to his two guys outside the toilets.
Yeah.
I feel like that's bringing the game to the people.
You blokes hanging around the toilets again.
Yeah, but it's with the side mouth as well.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, he's done us again.
Anyway, done the whole show in Smiths. Well, we did this part in Smiths.
Yep.
So if you like the look of them, smithopticsaustralia.com.au. Get your questions in. hello@greatcricketer.com. Thanks to Barney for joining us the show.
Let me pass on just for what do you call it?
Posterity?
That I am now coming to an understanding that the Aussies are adamant that they should not be connected with the, like what that MCG deck was, Aussie players. They're not happy with the insinuation.
Oh, okay. Well, they have,
I don't know who that, that's secondhand, by the way.
They have been known to distance themselves from controversies in the past. So
yeah, I wouldn't say it's a great record saying they didn't do things that they did.
Yeah, putting out statements and stuff. I mean, I wouldn't. That's one man's view.
Oh, they're unhappy, are they? Oh, I withdraw everything then. Well, I'd be unhappy too.
Now I'm George Bailey. I don't want conflict.
Yeah. I'd be unhappy as well, like
yeah, I'd hate it.
Yeah, because it's my fault that everyone's fucking everyone's upset. Oh, they're unhappy, are they?
Yeah. Because I fucking ruined Christmas like the Grinch. Anyway.
It's because I didn't want to play any cricket. A couple of guys didn't want to play and I thought, quick kill, fucking, barrel will do them over.
Yeah.
Neck minute.
Yeah. Whoops.
Now the nation's unhappy.
Oh, well. Enjoy whatever day of the week it is. And we'll see you guys next time you want to tune in. Goodbye.